WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Hi, Lieutenant. How are you doing? Aw, did you find your land nav point, Lieutenant? Good job, Lieutenant. You get a
Expert Action Badge.
put on your uniform right,
Expert Action Badge.
show up to work on time,
Expert Action Badge.
qualify on your weapon,
Expert Action Badge. Badge of Action.
find your guidon.
Expert Action Badge.
That's right, just doing your noble warrior task and drills, you get a
Expert Action Badge.
Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Shit in a bag, Pogue. Badge of Action.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Action Badge.
If that's really a thing, and I get authorized to do it once, it's pretty much gonna be me sitting there talking shit, like, constantly.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
At the bottom of the ocean, I'm at the bottom of the sea. I'm gonna stay.
Man, welcome to WTFNationRadio.com's Monday edition. Man, God, broadcasting live on this February 19th, 2018, live from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence. Kind of nervous today. A little bit. Because we have we have a new streaming platform out right now, and we're kind of testing it and see if it works, and hopefully we don't get banned from it. I mean,
we're gonna get banned. That's gonna happen.
You think
Twitter, I'm pretty sure Twitter doesn't like us.
You think Twitter's gonna? So right now we're broadcasting also on Twitter. So if you guys are listening to us now you can listen to us on Mixer, Facebook Live, YouTube, the TuneIn app, Periscope, Twitter.
My grandfather calls it twatter.
Twatter, yeah, exactly. So we'll see how this is gonna fucking roll out. How many F-bombs and how many people we're gonna go. So I'm Ice for you guys in the Twitter world. I am Ice, and then I have our public affairs officer Flash, Flash, and then of course on the front desk we have Spanky. So
hello.
Oh man, so okay, look, this past week has been pretty fucking crazy. Just everything now has been drummed out to where I don't want to listen, face, look at, or smell the internet. Like literally this weekend, I just didn't really, I wasn't really webbing, if that makes any sense.
It's not only is it just like the stuff that's been going on, but it's the aftermath and the conversations or lack of that have been just making this. Oh my God, just making this last couple of days just terrible. I mean, knowing everyone's afraid to have an opinion because you're going to get beat up for having an opinion, and God forbid you don't have the official opinion of the day. It's just been pretty bad.
Yeah, it's been bad because due to the fact that nobody wants to hear another side. I've watched. Okay, someone said, "Hey, look, what's your stance on this?" I don't like bringing any stance or whatever. I just point shit out and then just point shit out. Just, because to bring my personal beliefs in this is kind of fucked up. However, I do see both sides of what everyone's arguing about, and then you can kind of do the math from there. I've yet to see other than this. I haven't seen the other screen. I mean, all I've seen is the screaming side so far. I haven't really seen the who is the who, I know. We talked about this on Saturday Night Savagery, because if you guys don't listen to that show on Saturday, that's Jay Reddy and Pooks, and they come around and they really get all the conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat stuff you want to hear, and of course, take it for what it's worth. If you don't believe it, if you don't like it, then tough shit. That's what happens. You just whatever. No one's gonna say anything about it. No one's gonna, everyone walks away, and that's one thing I like about Saturday Night Savagery, because everyone goes back and forth, and there's a dialogue. There's an actual dialogue. You may not agree what Jay Reddy or Pookie is saying, but at least when those two are done going back and forth, or the Owl, or Spurs, we at least have. Speaking of which, where the fuck's he at? He's supposed to be formation day. Do I got him this week? Do we got Spurs this week?
I thought we had him for the whole month of February.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Someone's missing from duty.
Yeah, someone's make sure you mark him down on the DSR for failure to report, and then we're gonna have to let the first.
I'll
one.
get the 4856 typed up for you.
Please,
I'll
yes,
expect you to
exactly
do your own typing now.
Well, but my point being is that they're able to go. They all, it was great. It's great to hear all of our shows. We were able to go back and forth, and mind you, there's a little bit of some octaves and freaking decibel levels that we hit on our shows, because some of us are passionate, to include yours truly, about a lot of stuff that happens in the world. But again, I'm not going to walk away and totally disrespect anybody and say whatever, or call names, or talk shit. It's whatever. It's just whatever you came up with. But this conversation about the school shooting has through the freaking roof of no one is really hearing anything right now. I mean, it's literally it's almost like two loud guitar players are just screaming fucking riffs at each other, and no one's saying shit. No one's listening to shit. No one's listening to anything.
Everyone's gone on their side of the fence automatically.
Yeah.
You have the guns are bad, and that ranges from ban all guns in the United States all the way to we need some tighter regulations and maybe some tighter background screenings and stuff like that, but waiting period, stuff like that. And then on the other side, because no side is, without fault, you have people, don't take our guns, spanning from that. This is my right to own an AT-4, a bazooka, a 50 cal, and a flamethrower because it's Second Amendment right. And then you have people that are they're closer to hey, I don't want to be, somebody saying that, because I got into a conversation about somebody saying, well, we should do mental health checks. I went, well, I said, that's kind of tough to do because there's no baseline. I said, somebody who has PTSD like myself, while a very, very mild case of it, somebody subjectively could look at me and go, I don't think you should have a handgun, and all of a sudden a constitutional right's taken away. But nobody wants to have it. Oh, well, you shouldn't worry about it. You shouldn't need a gun. So nobody actually wants to have a conversation about how do we fix this, because I do think there's middle ground of maybe fixing this, or at least tightening it so this kid doesn't, because there's been a whole bunch. Like this one guy came on a video, was like in Illinois, I think it was Iowa, was like, I went into a store. I talked to this guy for like 20 minutes. He was more like a hipster dad. Like he's not a hipster, but he's sounding like one. So I'm totally doing the wrong accent. But he's like, I went in there, and 20 minutes later, I could have came out with an AR-15. They said, all you need to do is we got this cheap one, a $3.99. It's a base model, blah blah blah. But all you have to do is just fill out the form. They said usually within 10 to 15 minutes we get a reply back saying that if you are good to go or not good to go, and then you get a AR-15 and 100 rounds ammo. And then he starts freaking out. He's like, I could drive within 30 minutes and hit 10 different schools. And I'm like, who doesn't live near schools? But like people are like losing their minds, and everyone's trying to you have the people on the fringe left and fringe right of this argument trying to make the case of well, I can go to 100 churches within 30 minutes and shoot the place. Or I could just stay home and just, look at my shotgun going, you're so pretty. I mean, there's lots of things you can, but it's very, everyone's being very black and white, and there's no room no one's leaving any room, and it makes it worse. Now, I mean, I don't know if it makes it worse. It's won't lie. When I first saw the reports, I got numb to it because it's not the first time this has happened, and it sucks. And then finding out the details and finding out they caught that son of a bitch live, that was a new one. I was a little like, hey, well, there you go.
That was my thing too, is because you rarely ever hear about a school shooter.
Yeah, that doesn't like off
or
himself
a mass
beforehand.
shooter. Yeah, correct. A mass
And then
shooter.
and then what made me laugh was he came and said, "Oh, I will. You know, we don't need to make this worse for the people of Parkland, Florida. So I'll just say I'm guilty if you'll take the death penalty off the table." And a friend of mine was like, who's a very liberal type person, so said, "I don't like this deal." I said, "Nope." I said the state should go, "Nah, we're going to go through this trial, and we're going to make you hear from all. I wish they would make him hear from all the families, and then give him a 5.56 round to his head once he's found guilty." But that's just me. I'm a little more medieval when it comes to people shooting up schools.
Well,
high school.
I was about to say that. And I'm glad you said that too, because that's exactly what I was going to get to. The point being is that that the ones that are rallying against weapons are the ones that are speaking the most violently. They're the ones that are talking about. I mean, literally,
we should take all the guns. If they don't give them up, we'll shoot them.
We'll shoot them. Exactly.
I've actually seen that
yes,
post
that's what I'm
already.
saying. That's what I'm saying. If they don't give up their weapons, then we need to kill them to take their weapons. And I'm thinking, you just sat there and are talking about, you're trying to educate against gun violence and all that. And it really makes me mad is that the statistics that everyone's throwing out, immediately what you saw is the statistics of how many murders and how many homicides are conducted by this and blah, blah, blah. I believe in stats. So if I see the stats that say, and they're from reputable sources, not somebody who like no shit recorded stats. I mean, as reputable, you will say the FBI used to be reputable, but I guess you can't say that anymore. But if you were to sit there and say,
FBI's on my shit list, but we'll get to them.
Yeah. So if you were to sit there and say specifically that now that if you take away the homicides from Chicago, Los Angeles, Houston, and all the major metropolitan cities of gun-free zones, then I could see where you're talking about. But then again, you're also what I'm seeing right now, and what my whole point being was, Flash, is that I'm seeing right now adults exploiting kids far worse than ISIS or our enemy could ever have fucking done.
I see that. I definitely have been seeing a lot of, let's throw all these kids out in front. But then I've also seen like this one chick who looks like Sinead O'Connor coming up there, and you could always tell that she, I won't say that she's exploiting. I'm not going to say that. Honestly,
she is.
I'm not even gonna,
she is. She is. She is.
But
I'll say it. She is.
She's also lived through it, though. And I kind of feel bad.
Correct.
I don't know if that's playing on me, but I'm listening and going, I hear you, and it is terrible.
There's now two. I'm glad you mentioned that.
You still got to think about
I am so glad you mentioned that.
The group instead of just.
Exactly that. I am so glad you mentioned that. I'm actually, dude, you just kind of like fell right in there. I think now there's 3 students. Now they've narrowed it down to 5. It was 5. Now they're narrowed down to 2. The shaved head little girl that you're talking about, and I do say little girl because they're kids. They're about 15 years old. They're kids. I think it was like Emily Hernandez or something like that, and this little boy and this boy. Okay, so these 2 kids right now are being propped up. You would have thought that CNN had hired them as their crisis actors for this shit. Now everyone's gonna get the ass and say, "Whoa, no, ICE, what are you talking about?" I've seen some people say, "No, my friend is in the hospital. He's not a crisis actor." Blah 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 blah. Now shut up. Okay, I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is that. Of all the stories that you're hearing, I'm only hearing these 2 kids. I'm only hearing these 2 kids talk. Mind you, now this high school had 3,000 students that attend to this high school. I am sure there are other stories and other side aside from these 2 kids. Like, for instance, the fact that there were other kids that were involved that were going to join the military that use the Kevlar blankets of their JRTC class for their weapons training to put up against the windows so that way the rounds were hitting the glass but not penetrating due to those Kevlar blankets. Nobody's hearing that side of the story. All I'm seeing, again, that's what I'm saying. All I'm seeing is a bunch of and they're screaming. They're like at the top of their fucking lungs screaming. I'll be honest with you, as a grown up, last time I checked, being old and shit. I am qualified member, card carrying member of Team Old. If you're a little kid and you're screaming at me, I'm ignoring you. I'm done with you. I'm not even going to talk to you. There's no need for you to speak to me. We don't open up the kindergarten and let them govern. I'll be honest with you. I responded to somebody on Facebook, and that got them freaking riled the hell up. Actually, kids have the politics of insects. Have you ever seen toddlers hang out with each other? They're brutal. I mean, my little ones, when they're hanging out, they're brutal to each other in class. Do you want that, Lord of the Flies? And I'm sorry, this is tragic as shit. I do feel for those kids. I do feel sorry for those kids. I do wish that there was something that was done that could have prevented all this. Of course, I'm gonna fucking be on their side, and of course, I'm pissed off at the fact that some kid that was able to come onto a school, and of course, where was the security? I have just as many questions as everybody else does. I mean, when I brought up that tinfoil hat theory on Saturday, that got everybody freaking out. That got everybody, going nuts about the fact that how did this kid get the weapon? I'm a 19-year-old kid. Did you have $1,500 laying around? When you
I had enough money for 19. I had already started college, and I was already living off of ramen noodles and as much chicken and everything that my stepmom cooked for me before they left after they dropped my ass off. Hey, and on a side note, we're still live on Twitter. Go WTF Nation.
Good job, guys. Good job, guys. That's what's up. We're still on Twitter. Okay, I was about to say, could you monitor that? Because I don't know.
Oh, I'm watching it because I'm just waiting for us to get the kick. Like you have said too many common sense ideas. You're not allowed to be on Twitter.
Exactly. So lately, I've been seeing a lot of people getting blocked and all that stuff because whatever. Because Twitter is kind of like that Zen shit. They want to keep it quiet. They want to keep it calm. But if it gets too crazy, they'll just deactivate your account. I know for a fact you can't put Tide Pods on a goddamn because mom was talking about her putting a Tide Pod meme on Twitter, and they flipped the hell out. So I guess you can't say that. Now, again, I'm going back to what I was saying. Where did the kid get the money to do this? You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was 19 years old, I didn't have $1,500 to buy an AR. I barely had $500, let alone 15. Whatever it cost to buy. Unless ARs are really cheap down where he's at. I don't know how he was able to purchase that. Who was the person that gave him the money to get him the AR? Who was there? That just makes total, you know what I mean? How is it that now? Of course, I'm not going through the tinfoil hat stuff like you guys want me to, but I'm just thinking about. I'm being statistical here, and I'm being systematic on this. How did he get the money for the AR? Who took him to go get the AR? Because I know in the state of Florida, you can't just walk around with an AR. Somebody had to have given him a ride.
Okay, wait. So I heard something that he took an Uber.
He took an Uber
to the school.
No. How did he get the? No, I'm talking about from its inception of the event.
Oh yeah. Well,
how did he get the AR?
In most states, I don't know about Florida. I'd have to look that up. In most states, you can actually walk around with a rifle if you really wanted to. It's those and no one really does it unless you're one of those those extreme pro Second Amendment folks that will walk around and go into coffee shops, and they already know they're freaking out everyone, but they're just trying to get into a confrontation. So they it's my right.
Yeah, exactly that.
I'll look it up right now. But yeah, I mean.
So my point being is that somebody had to have known that he was buying that. Somebody had to have given him the money. Again, everyone talks about it was about $350 down there. I don't know how much it costs to buy an AR in that area. So I would assume that going with the standard rate of prices for a good AR, being that I am a firearms aficionado, they normally run for about depending what you get, between $900 to $1,500. Okay, so I'm just curious, where was that? Since we want to go back and nobody wants to tie it to mental illness, I always go back and say yes, it is mental illness. The cops were called to his kid's house 36 freaking times.
The guy really had some problem. I mean, it wasn't like he was just. This wasn't Columbine, where there was just two students that were getting bullied and that were just being that decided that, well, let's just end these sons of bitches. This was a kid that had many problems in school. While wasn't really so far the stories come out that he wasn't actually really bullied, but he was the bully. In fact, he was expelled from high school for making threats, for trying to hurt people, for hurting people. This kid already had some red flags, going up, with something. And then he had made threats about the school before, and people knew it. People knew and had reported that this was a credible situation. And then hey, the FBI goes, oh shit, not a big deal, which is interesting because now, so here in Virginia, there is a Stafford County and Spotsylvania County, Virginia. In the wake of the shooting massacre in Parkville, Alabama, local school districts are dealing with reported threats of violence, and 2 middle schools in Northern Virginia are now among them. A social media post threatening shooting at T. Benson Gale Middle School and Thornburg Middle School has Stafford and Spotsylvania County, which are right next to each other. Deputies investigating the source. It was announced on Sunday. I actually saw it in a, weirdly enough, I saw this, the lady who actually, one of the ladies that reported seeing this, and it's a kid holding, it's a little douchebag kid holding on to it looked like a pistol and like a Snapchat and saying, I'm going to Gale, Gale Middle School. And it's been freaking like people out in that part of Virginia, because some people are like, I'm reporting this. And I think now people are starting to take this shit seriously, because the FBI, no one's ever going to catch every person. NSA is never going to catch every single person they're trying. The CIA is never going to. The police never do. It's an impossibility that we can strive for. We strive for perfection, everything we do. Whether it's law enforcement or military or everyone's day-to-day life, we strive for perfection. There's only so much you can do, but there were so many red flags that it kind of pisses me off that we dropped the ball on this. And it's weird how all these stars kind of aligned for this kid. No one stopped him, because according to Florida, there is no open carry. Open carry firearms generally banned, except open or concealed carry is allowed.
See, that's what I thought. See,
without a license, blah, blah, on certain protected places and activities. So exception include the home, place of work, hunting, fishing, camping, while practicing shooting or traveling to or from those locations. Meaning, if I'm hunting, I can technically open carrying anyways, whatever. If I am at a shooting club, I can take my rifle out of my or weapon out of my car and go to the shooting range. What it does say is that it is illegal to go anywhere else, and I don't know. I bought my shotgun, and I remember that it was in pieces, and I had to put it together and whatnot. I haven't had a chance to buy a rifle now. Still under this administration, I don't feel like it's not the same, and I think that's why gun sales have gone down so much. Is because pro-gun people aren't really worried that this administration is just going to pull the rug from under them.
No,
he might. You never know. I don't know. I'm assuming it comes in pieces, and you have like a lower and upper, and you got to put it together, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But still, this kid got into a car some way or another, and was able to get to the school without anyone saying. And if the Uber saw him pick it up, he must either had a long ass bag, or this guy was oblivious. Because I've been an Uber driver. And if something is fishy, I have driven away from people because I'm like, this doesn't feel right. So he did all this, got into the school, and not one person. I mean, it's just hard to wrap your brain around everything. It's horrible. And it's horrible for all these kids and these adults.
For the kids, yes, and the parents and the adults to have experienced that. And also to some of the things that are not being brought up, and I'm going on both sides of this. You know what I mean about the restriction of. I mean, me personally, if you have a weapon near a school to begin with, unless you are a member, like a resource officer, or you're there as a police officer, then you're obviously your intentions are not, they're not good. You have ill intent. So my thing is that I look at. What about the other side? Now, we're talking about all the victims here. There were other victims there too that feel that the loud ones don't represent them already. They've already segregated themselves in their own groups now. You have Miss Hernandez, and then you have that other kid. I can't remember those other kid, but you have, like you said, the bald head chick. So you have those two kids right now being the representatives. The Women's March, the Pussy Hat Women's March, sponsored them for their national day of their national school walkout day or something like that. They are the ones that are sponsoring it. So now you have, and this is what I'm saying about an organized movement exploiting the youth. Now you have the pussy hat wearing women's march using these kids to further up their agenda. You know what? It's almost like they're capitalizing on a tragedy.
This is the perfect opportunity for them because these kids, especially the ones that have been on TV, and there's been like 4 or 5 of them that I've seen on CNN. Sorry, I got baby toys next to me. On CNN and on MSNBC that I've seen around at these at some of these press events, that they're the same 4 or 5 kids, and the people, the I won't say anti-Second Amendment, but the it's hard to put them. The other people that don't like guns so much have been, I agree, exploiting the shit out of them.
Yes.
Because you don't see that kid they had who was wearing the grunt style T-shirt, who was talking about
putting up the Kevlar blankets,
talking about how they're out in formation.
Yep.
And they went inside, and like he did everything right. This kid, like I've listened to him going, he's going to make a good. I said he's going to make a good officer.
Yep.
So I can already hear that he's got that whole. He was understanding that, and kept a cool head. This is what needs to be done, and which is pretty commendable, especially under gunfire. Because I've seen people under gunfire in Afghanistan who've never never dealt with this kind of shit before, shit their pants their first time. Apparently, this kid did a banging job.
Of course,
but you don't see him being interviewed by CNN or MSNBC.
No,
about
as a matter of fact, he only got a 30-second clip when he said that Mr. Feist, Aaron Feist, the football coach that used his body, had asked repeatedly if he could bring his concealed carry onto the school grounds to protect the kids because the resource officer that was there was on the other side of the school when this happened. So Aaron Feist, everyone that is propping up as the anti-gun martyr, he's the guy that said, I'm a concealed carry guy, who was also an off-duty security guard that actually asked before, because I'm sure he heard the same rumors, that he wanted to have his weapon on the school grounds because he was authorized to carry it. How come we don't hear that story? How come we don't hear the story again of Cadet Wang?
Because it doesn't fit that.
Exactly that.
And I hate. And I always try to keep myself from saying some of these stupid things like the liberal left media.
Oh yeah. It doesn't fit the mainstream media.
Honestly,
yeah, I hear you.
When things like this happen, I can't help but go, there is an agenda there.
Oh, big time.
There's an agenda there, and there's a reason why this kid, who probably, would be against what his other classmates are saying, but was not given the platform or the opportunity because he is not saying what everyone else is saying. Because God forbid this kid has a different opinion in a different way. But hey, So the women's pretty ridiculous.
So the women's march.org, they are the ones that are going to be sponsoring these kids on their march, which I'm totally against. I want the kids to do this on their own. This right here, I want to hear the kids. I don't want to hear the agendas of grown-ups at this point. I guess you could say we as grown-ups have failed. It's time for the kids to let them speak on their own. Not the screamers. Because if you're going to come out with something or some initiative or something like that, I want to hear it. I want to hear what you got. Because, and this is sad, is that the fact that kids are actually willing to stand and have a discussion. I want a discussion, not screaming matches, of something like this, fine. But I also want the same fucking kids to talk about DACA. I also want the same fucking kids to talk about immigration reform. I also want the same fucking kids that if you want to grow up and put some big girl and big boy pants on, then you talk about a lot of other stuff, not just an agenda that somebody's fucking feeding for you. Those are the kids that I want. Now, the women's march, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear your shit. Let these kids speak. The women's march actually had it on their website. I don't know if they still have it now. That they're going to do this for the kids. No, mommies, we don't need your help. You're the ones that say guys were bad for infecting you with children to begin with. So I don't want to hear it. So let's move them aside. Let's let the kids do this shit and see what happens. I'm willing to bet that there are some articulate children down there. And to me, I don't want nobody to say that they're educated because they're articulate. Educated to me means they're like a fucking PhD or something like that. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, oh, these children are educated. They're 15. They're going through high school. That's not educated. That's being a kid. So I want to hear them.
They're not at that age. You're not educated. I don't care what people say. You are just not educated in anything, and what you're educated in is what your parents or what the media you suck down is what they're telling you. That's the only education they have is parroting what their families are saying and stuff like that, or they're and I hate that people granted these kids are almost not kids anymore. So, but I hate that they're being exploited.
And that's my biggest thing. They're being
we're not even caring. Like,
Doc, that was my whole point. You just heard me. Why let the kids do it? No, they're not going to do it. I'm saying let them speak. Let the kids graduate and then go into civics and then run for office without any outside influence, and let them experience from the raw detail of their experiences, not by somebody else pushing it for them. If I had something happen to me, the last thing I want to do is women that walk around in anatomically correct fucking headgear to sit there and tell me this is what I need to push out, because that's what they want, not what happened to me. Now, if you really want to start doing this and you really want to start pushing agendas out, I'm all for it. Let's you want to talk about weapons ownership age? Let's do it. You want to talk about let's talk about it. I'll be open up to it. Let's bring it. 21 years old. I guarantee it. You can't drive, you can't smoke. You can't get a freaking driver's license. You can't get a gun. You can't drink and until you're 21. I guarantee it that'll take the wind out of their sails. I guarantee it. They will not be the ones that will sit there and say, "Oh, let's talk about this. Let's no. You want reform, right? This is what
in the me off. They want a conversation, but they don't actually want the conversation.
Correct.
Their conversation is, we want you to agree with us that we need to do X, Y, and Z.
Correct.
And there should be no. It's not a conversation. That's you just want us to agree with you. If not, we don't think of the children. Blah blah blah. And the same garbage that we keep hearing. And that's just not fair. And it's funny. I actually shared an article. I've been on social media. I've kept it pretty vanilla for everything. I know how I stand on this. Most of my friends on my personal page know how I stand, where I stand on this. That I'm not above talking and going, because I do think there's some things that we might be able to do to close some of these loopholes or make it a little bit tougher and stuff like that. Not say you can't own something, but hey, maybe you have to wait a week before you get your AR or something like that. Like you shouldn't be able to walk in and walk out, because that's how those couple of day waiting periods helps you cool off in case you were being pissed off that your wife was cheating with somebody. Now you can't go shoot the shit out of them.
Yeah,
I'm okay. And there's some common sense things that I can go with. Yeah. But I'm willing to talk about it. And I saw an article that I'm trying to find real quick because it was weird. Somebody that I've actually had several conversations about to the point where they pretty much said, I don't like this, that, and the other. And we've had some heated ones. Now this comes from thefederalist.com. It's 6 reasons your right-wing friend isn't coming to your side on gun control. And we rarely, and here's some of the things. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to highlight their things. We rarely get to come to the conversation in good faith, and I agree with that. I mean, anytime if you're for guns, all of a sudden you're evil and a horrible person. The blood on their hands attacks are offensive. How many times have we heard that? If this administration doesn't do anything, the blood is on their hands, and then people say, gun owners, if you don't stand up to the NRA, blood is on your hands. And that's just shameful, because I did not. I'm trying to say
what you're hearing.
Sarcastic. I did not pull a trigger.
Yeah.
I've never.
You're right. I know what you're saying. Exactly. No, but you
back the fuck off.
Exactly. Well, and also too, but also you got to consider, Flash, that is that they're now providing. See, to me, a dialogue and a compromise is a discussion back and forth. To me, when you say if you support them, then blood is on your hand. It's almost like Obi-Wan Kenobi when he said only the Sith deal in absolutes. You know what I mean? So now you're just saying you didn't want to negotiate. You said you wanted to have a conversation about it.
Oh my God!
And you wanted a dialogue. Yeah, that's where I got it from.
Did you?
Yeah, I saw. No, Jose's fucking IMing me right now, telling me that we're gonna get he's got squares on us, not lasting a whole fucking show. on Twitter.
The loudest voices are often the most ignorant, and
Yeah.
hey, it's in the media. The most prominent policy ideas have nothing to do with the tragedy. We seriously don't care about gun laws in other countries. I hate that. Well, in Australia, you go be Australian then. Not
Yeah,
Australian,
exactly.
not English, not German. Well, not in Germany. I'm not Austrian. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm in America, living in America. Our country's different. Our government's different. Our people are different. The way our country started is different. We're just a different. The United States is just a different animal, and people don't understand that. We're bigger than what? We're bigger than Europe. We're bigger than, like, you could put Europe and still have plenty of space to grab a couple other countries. Like, we're a massive country that we have more different. Our geography varies from where you are to almost every point in the rest of the world. We got high mountains. We got deep ass lakes. We've got two different coastlines that are totally different. We everything about the United States is different, and I'm tired of being compared to England to the British, because they do things different. Our people, we have too many people for police to be walking around with giant sticks thinking that we'll be fine, bop them on the head and whatnot. And lastly, we really do consider owning firearms a right,
Yeah, it is.
And
it is a right.
And so my friend actually read this, and she's like, wow. She said, I never actually considered this conversation from that perspective. And she knows that I'm not, and I've already said, I'm not a total, honestly, when they come out the wound, give them an AR-15, tell them to go learn how to shoot. Like, I'm not that kind of guy, but I also believe that the Second Amendment, like every one of those our Constitution, those are rights. That's what I'm allowed to do, because that's what I'm allowed to do as a citizen. So, there's things like that that's a good article. I'm sure anywhere else has gotten a lot of hate. And it was weird. I only got a couple. Usually when I get no comments on a post, especially something around this, or around something tragedy or something so polarizing, usually means that either people don't want to start an argument or people don't really have an argument. So my friend actually said, this is actually an interesting read and opened my eyes to the opposite perspective a little more. I'll take that. I will take that as a victory. Not that she's going to change her mind, because she's not. She actually moved. She actually moved from the United States to our former colony master and whatnot over there in Britain, and so she's living with her boyfriend now. So she's living in Britain now, and she brought that up. Well, here in England, I'm like, I'm in the United States.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see, that's another thing too.
I don't play that game. I just live in the United States, but
you're right.
I'll take
but
that
the
if
rights.
somebody actually said, hey, there's more than just one perspective on this, because I agree, there is more than one perspective. I don't think that we should have. There should be no regulations on guns. I honestly think that, hey, maybe hunting rifles and shotguns, you could be able to get at 18 because you're an adult, but maybe something a little more powerful. Maybe you wait till you're 21, like when you're drinking. Maybe something like that.
Exactly.
I'm open to different conversations, but the problem is, and we're seeing it all over the media, and we even had it in D.C. Luckily, as a federal employee, I don't have to go to work today. They had a lie down in D.C. And I'm so glad I wasn't there.
I saw that.
Metro would have been horrible.
They had a lie-in at the White House.
Yeah, it was, and it's right where they were was part of my walking route to my office. I'm like, man, I do not want to deal with that.
Yeah, exactly that.
It's just everyone wants to be polarizing. Everyone wants everyone wants a solution but they want their solution, not a compromise. Like the budget plan was the most recent budget plan. Was that a perfect solution for the right or for the left? Hell no. There's a lot of pissed off people on both sides saying we didn't do enough for this or we did too much for that. I mean, Republicans breaking open the purse strings and Democrats giving more money to defense spending. It's pretty crazy, but that's what compromise is. Not getting everything you want.
Exactly.
That would be a victory.
That would not have been then that's not having, like you said, a compromise or having concessions to a discussion. Now, as seeing this from someone who who, and I'll be honest with you, and this is just no shit. I mean, I'm just being blunt honest as a gun owner myself. I really don't take my guns out that much, except for maybe, I don't know, every few weeks or so. You know what I mean? Not really a big. I mean,
I take my shotgun out every so often, so my wife and I can do some some shooting, some training. Because my shotgun is more for a home defense. I got it for her. It's a nice little Maverick 88. So it's youth model, so it's a lot shorter, which is great for the house we're in now. It's got more tighter corners and stuff, and but that's the only time I take it out. I'm not, like I said, I'm not one of those people that walk around with it slung on my back just trying to get a response.
Yeah. Does it almost seem like now?
I see somebody walking down the street with an AR-15.
That's like
I'm not gonna be like,
yeah,
they're just exercising their rights. I'm gonna be like, I need to drive away or start calling the cops because this does not.
Yeah,
feel
because
right
it's okay now. Being that we have established ourselves as Second Amendment supporters and gun owners, doesn't it drive you up the wall when you see guys that almost seem like they're flaunting it, so that way they get a confrontation? Does it seem like that to me? Okay, I just want to make sure.
If anyone actually cares to look on YouTube, there are, just like there the free people folks that try to find times where they get caught. Everyone does it, but and like you see photographers do that where they're outside of a federal building that's got like a gate around it, and they're taking pictures. They have a drone or something, and they're like, but according to this statute, I'm allowed to take pictures, and it's like, I understand there's a law. By the law, they are correct. You can do certain things from public areas, like a public sidewalk. But then there's like, you're just doing this for reaction, and I don't appreciate that. It's not like, hey, I was taking a picture of the White House. All of a sudden, a Secret Service person came and took my camera and said, I can't. But like, no one's raiding a shooting range going, you can't be open carrying here at a shooting range. By law, I can, fucker. But with these super pro Second Amendment folks that go out and flaunt their decked out AR-15, the tactical. God, I love that video. That tactical AR-15. With the angled grip, with the light on the side, all the trimmings. Because hey, go for it. And they're walking into a Starbucks wondering why people are giving them dirty looks and shit. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're concealed carrying a pistol and someone gives you shit for having that, even though you're not flaunting it, it's on you and you have it concealed carry, then those are douchebags, and I'm with you. But when if you're outwardly, especially in today's day and age where, I'm sorry, even myself, a military professional and someone who loves guns, I love shooting them. They're awesome. Love the smell of carbon in the morning, except cleaning it off my firing pin. But anyways, there's always somebody who clean that for me. I mean, but I'm not gonna walk around with an AR. Like, I won't lie. Before my last unit went to, I think we were going to Korea, and I had to walk from the arms room at my company building to the rallying location, which was in a theater up the road. I felt so bad. It felt weird carrying my M4 from maybe 300 yards, not that far. But I was like, and then at night, and I'm walking from one area to that with my M4 that I had to go pick up because apparently they gave me the wrong serial number one. And I'm like, man, I don't want to get shot by military police because they think I'm carrying a weapon on me. But people do that because they're trying to get a reaction, and they make the rest of us look like a bunch of douchebags.
Yeah, well, that's my whole point. But like Al says it as well, is there's people on both sides that provoke. You got that one guy that it actually looks like like I said, he's carrying, and you can kind of tell he's already walking around in the stance like, come on, motherfucker, say something. Come on, motherfucker, say something. And then you have that one kid that actually does say something, that wants to fucking start that fucking argument, and then that's when it escalates. You know what I mean? Because I've seen guys that have open carried that are not even looking like they look like they're casual. Like, it looks like they're not. You could totally tell they're new. They're not new to open carry, if that makes any sense. But then you see some guys that you see them open carry, and it's almost like they want you to make sure that they're open carrying. It's really fucked up because a lot of guys got pissed. Oh, how can we be talking shit? Like, you got weapons too? Yeah, I got weapons too, but I'm not going around going, look at this M4. Oh, look at my rifle with its, and it's got rails, and look at the sights on M68. Oh, it's got a PEC. Oh, man, and it's got a suppressor on there. Oh my God. Oh, look at, rubbing in your face. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that. I'm not. I open carry.
You might want to check your pants after that. You might have got too into that.
But I open carry as well, but nobody would notice that I'm open carry because I'm not going, look, man, I'm open carrying. Shut up, Second Amendment. I don't do that. I don't. Some don't even realize that I'm carrying at all because I'm not going out there going, I'm carrying. I'm not doing that. It's almost like you're not in. It's almost like introducing something to a to the ecosystem of something. If you're going to an environment where generally there's fucking hippies and shit, and they're not, and free thinkers and all these other people that like are fucking all, oh come on man, stop being such a fascist, and everyone's a fucking fascist even though they promote fascist ideologies. You introduce a weapon or something that's not part of their ecosystem, of course they're gonna get fucking unchained. You know what I mean? They're gonna get you brought a weapon here, this guy here, and he's got, and of course, according to them, I was bringing the most largest weapon you can possibly bring, and how can that be legal? And it's it's only a 380. You know what I mean? So again, it's one of those things to where Emma Gonzalez, yeah, that's her name. Everyone's like, who was that? Who are we talking about? We're talking about Emma Gonzalez. Yeah, that is the new member of the Now This Women's March. She's now the new spokesman. She's an 18-year-old senior that was there, who's now speaking for all the kids and enjoying all of it. Poor kids, man.
I'm sure there's, when you're 18 and you're thinking, hey, I'd hate to, I don't know, I don't even want to go there thinking that, I'd hate to think that anyone would use an opportunity to further themselves instead of doing, I understand your friend's just been gunned down by this child. Like I showed my wife, they had earlier today, they were doing, they were in court. I don't remember exactly what they were doing, some kind of motion or whatnot. So, Fox had him on court and on TV, and I was showing my wife the recording of it, and she's like, "Who's that?" I was like, "That's the kid that shot up the school." And she's like, "How old is he?" I'm like, "Apparently he's 19." He goes, "He's 19?" Like, this kid looks young.
Yeah.
And it's just, sometimes there's just people that do not need to be provoked to be wrong. Like, I know this kid had gone through some trauma. His mother had died. He was living with somebody with another family for a little bit. There's a whole bunch of stuff that can attribute this, but it's just pretty. But then there's people like I got sent this thing on Facebook. This Florida resident citizen said, "I do not need," on his Facebook big Facebook post saying, "I do not need this rifle," and had several. It's after last week's shooting in Parkland, Florida. This comes from USA Today, and it's 17 lives. A variant of an AR looked. Ben Dickerman looked at his AR-57 rifle, a variant of the same rifle used in last week's attack, and decided he had enough. "I do not need this rifle," he wrote on a post on Facebook. Stupid ad. Go away. Thank you. "No one without a law enforcement badge needs this rifle. This rifle is not a tool I have a use for." Accompanying the post were photos taken by Dickerman, a resident of nearby Fort Lauderdale, as he surrendered his rifle to the local county sheriff's office. The resulting receipt had a note scribbled on it: "Dispose, destroy, per owner. I enjoyed shooting this rifle immensely, but I do not need it. I have other types I can shoot for the same enjoyment," Dickerman wrote after handing the gun over to the officers. He added, "I could have easily stole this rifle, but no person needs this. I will be the change I want to see in the world. If our lawmakers will continue to close their eyes and open their wallets, I will lead by example." I did see this post because I'm just like, there's another one. And then it was very polarizing on that post. Some people were making jokes going, "Hey, you could have sold that for $1,000. And people
Well,
are
do
like,
you
oh,
think-
everyone should give up
do you
their
think cause-
AR style
Do you
weapons.
think
And
going
it's-
for a cause though? Do you think going for a cause now seems like the big hip thing to do now? Like all of a sudden people are now posting stuff like, now I want to make a change and I'm going to sell my AR. Like that one sheriff asked all of his buddies in the sheriff's department to turn in their ARs because he turned his in and he was the only one that did it. And
Because you're right. It seems like the popular thing to do is to jump on some kind of cause, and I don't know. Maybe there's just not a cause for me. Like I believe in things, but and the guy was like, well, I'm gonna get. I have other weapons I could fire. Homeboy, before you start spouting that no one needs this, do you really need all those weapons that you're
That you
saying
said
that
you could
you
fire?
have
Yeah,
that
exactly.
You can shoot.
Exactly.
How many are we talking? Do you saying person only should have one weapon? And if so, then why do you have several? Shouldn't you give them all up? And honestly, if you're going to play that whole, I'm going to be the example, then what example are you trying to be? Because I don't understand your stance. You're saying we don't need this AR. Is that your viewpoint? We don't need AR-style weapons out there? Is that it? Because be more specific, because, anti-gun folks are rallying around him, which is good. Whatever. You're going to fall behind somebody. I don't care. But they're saying, but they're all going, everyone should turn on their weapons. It's like, but your example is not turning in all his weapons. He's just turning in one. And what was weird though, I did want to bring this up, and I brought it up actually in the post that got some attention, but then I got some mean comments. Was the weapon itself is just weird looking. He's got an angled grip, but then he's got a very long sight on there. And it didn't make sense to me. It's almost kind of the M4 I had. It looks like the M16 I had at Basic that had the retractable stock. Like it's got a long ass barrel. It's got a long lens on top, but then it's got a weird angular grip that just doesn't jive well. To me, it seems very. How do I put it? It seems very convenient. The gun doesn't look like something somebody would shoot unless they didn't know what the hell they were doing. Like it just, to me, it just like I looked at the weapon, I was just like, that's who the hell wants that long of a lens on there, but you don't have some kind of bipod or something like that. No one's gonna be shooting 500 meters holding it with an angular grip. Maybe that's just me, but but no one's saying, hey, get rid of all your guns, or this guy's not saying, oh, I'm getting rid of all of them. He's just saying, I'm going to get rid of one gun. I don't think you need to have that elephant rifle you have back there, but hey, you're not turning that in, are you?
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, see, that's the thing. That's what I was saying. Is that there's the weapons that I have in my home. I mean, I just fire, plink a couple rounds and like that to go to the range or teach my kids how to use, and that's about it. And then I have one that is multiple within it happen. Immediately, everyone got on board very hesitantly when the gay community went on a concealed carry spending spree, bought weapons. They had their own classes. They had their own gun clubs, and it spread throughout the entire country to where there was gays for guns out west that said specifically that that's all they were doing is to ensuring that the LGBT community, because they have been the victims of crimes due to what their status is in the world, then they're going to own weapons. Nobody said about it. Like I said before, it was a little hesitant. Nobody wanted to say it was Islam either, but I'm just saying it was one of those things where fine. Well, I, as a victim of a crime, I could say that's the reason why I own firearms. If you really wanted to play that, well, you don't deserve to own weapons, ICE, because, whatever. Fine. Now, before we start getting into the semantics of the mental health stuff and all that, it's been purely statistics that the majority of individuals that have shot up a fucking school have been on or have conducted mass shootings, statistically have been mental health patients or have been sought out for mental health and been taking mental, chemical inducing type
They've
of
been
fucking
taking
Skittles.
something.
So
They're not clean.
exactly. They're not clean.
And I say clean as a sense that they were taking something for something.
So if I say if someone says, well, ICE, you just said now I have thrown a different spin to your compromise that you want from me. Well, ICE, it's different then. Okay, so you were a victim of a crime, you get to keep your guns. Well, what about the other person who wasn't a victim of a crime that wants to prevent from being a victim of a crime? Are you going to take his guns? Because again, I'm all about just having a federal background check. Is the same way for me as having a background check for you getting when you get your fucking pulled over by a cop. You get pulled over by a cop, what does he do? He runs a background check on you. And what does he do? What does he do? He goes and goes, yeah, he's got this, and this, yep. Okay, it looks like you got a speeding ticket from doing this, and you paid your parking ticket from last week, and it looks like you haven't had a ticket in a few years, so I'm going to let you off with a warning. And that's what they do. Now, if I have a bench warrant out for my arrest, what do? The same fucking thing. They run a background check on you, and if you pop, because they're only police officers, they're not there to talk about, well, you made a payment and you send it to the courthouse, and the courthouse didn't send it to the right address. They're not there to do. The cops are not there for that. They're there to uphold the law and enforce it. And they notice that you have a warrant out for your arrest, what do? They run your background and they arrest you. So, and due to the fact that you go into other rights to get a warrant, to get, unless you're the FBI, to get a warrant, because you also have what is the amendment? Not too many people know about the Fourth Amendment. You're gonna have those cops just bang on your door without a fucking warrant to seize your fucking weapons because you have a warrant out for your arrest. I think cops nowadays are the targets of a lot of stuff that I don't blame cops for not going into areas if it's not worth it. A police officer would rather do a traffic stop than do a fucking warrant, a warrant arrest, serving a warrant, because at least they know that on the street they're on equal footing. When they walk up to a routine, it's not a routine traffic. When they walk up to a traffic stop, they are somewhat in control of the situation until obviously all hell breaks loose. So you want to go back and forth about, you know what I mean? Everybody wants to go back and forth about this argument. What about a woman or a man who's been the victim of rape? You're going to deny them a weapon? No, this is purely rhetorical, but you're going to deny them a weapon? You're going to deny you a weapon because you have a family? You know what I mean? You start going down that fucking slippery slope of who can have and who cannot have weapons.
Everything's very subjective.
Yeah.
And one person was, because a friend of mine brought up, he's like, hey, to my pro-gun folks, what do you feel about doing an age limit? And I said, well, and then a couple of things. I'm like, well, I said, I could see something that powerful, because I think an AR is a powerful weapon. All weapons are powerful, but this one, you can do a lot. There's a reason why the Army carries a variant like it. And I mentioned that's like I can see at 21 you can own an AR-15 style weapon. Maybe I said, but I also see that before that, when you're 18, you should be allowed to buy. Because I have lots of cousins that live up in central New York or down in Savannah, Georgia, that when they're 18, they bought their own rifle, they brought their own shotgun, and they should be allowed to because that's what they want. And I kind of was like, I could see that. I would be okay with that. One, because I'm over 21, so Shazam. But two, we don't even let people drink until they're 21. I could go with that. That's an easy thing that I think people would be able to suck it up. And then one guy's, well, it's not until we do mental health checks, and the kind of conversation earlier before where it's a very subjective thing. It's hard to do a baseline. And then what do you have to do? Get two. And so the only be fair is 2 out of 3 doctors need to say you're either yay or nay. I said, because if one doctor decides I don't like military folks, and I go, oh, you went to Afghanistan, you went to Iraq, cool, no weapon for you because you're a possible danger.
Oh, I know.
All the media, fuck you guys, because y'all been putting out the same fucking wrong statistic saying there's been 18 school shootings in the last year. Holy shit. I really wish you guys would actually do research. And that pisses me off. I don't like to call out the whole media. Not like they're all listening, but you never know. Fuck you guys. Because those 18 shootings, I think only 2 of them resulted in anyone actually dying. One of them was somebody drove after hours onto a school campus and committed suicide. Another was a kid, I think it was a kid. I guess he pretty much was able to pull the trigger on this the security guy, the officer's handgun in his holster, weapon went into the ground. Another one, a kid, I guess the service pistol was left around or something. The kid got a hold of a service pistol, thought it was a training thing, and shot it into the wall, and actually shot it to the wall. Like, there's only been three times where there's been deaths. So there's been 18 school shootings, and it's only February bullshit is just, like I hate when I have to, because I try to defend media. I remember I got in an argument with I guess two folks. I think it was a month and a half ago, and they're like, "Oh, CNN, it must be fake news," and it wasn't even a story that was any polarizing. It was like it's just a story, and I had to tell them, like, "Look, stop being stupid. This isn't Breitbart. You know, calm the fuck down."
Oh my God, they're all getting stupid now.
But
they're all getting stupid.
Like
That's what blows me away.
They all really just took that graphic and ran with it, because then Prager University came out, and along with like 2 or 3 other Facebook / other groups that came out, was like, that's actually inaccurate. If you actually look at what they were, if you consider every time a weapon goes off or happened on a school or near a school as a school shooting, then the assault rates on schools would be massive, because technically, battery and assault because a kid punches another kid. Did we really report it as assault? No, but I think we should, because apparently if we can twist these statistics any way we want, anytime a kid bumps in me, that's assault. Man, these schools around here, everyone's just beating the shit out of each other, because here's the data. It's improper and to me unethical reporting, and I really wish these guys would get their shit together, because it's just you can't. Those are dangerous statistics, and it's only a matter of time before somebody anti-gun uses a gun on the, like, there was somebody who's calling for we should go into the NRA and shoot the people in the boardroom.
Yes,
like, it was going around.
I saw that.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Is people blind to their own hypocrisy are now calling for the killing of other people.
Yeah, with a gun.
With a gun.
With a gun.
Y'all better come at me with a butter knife or something to be that. And then people, please stop posting the same fucking article from 2014 on the Chinese guy that stabbed like 20-some people.
Oh my God, yes. I saw that on my Facebook feed, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Because
this is old shit.
The shaved head chick did say that she's like, this couldn't have been done, with a knife. And I went, and my wife was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, a couple of years ago, somebody did do that at a train station or something.
Yeah,
he went around and stabbed a shit ton of people.
But because of their method of training with blades, he knew exactly how to kill.
Yeah, he killed a bunch of people. Like, it was like
he was just stabbing throats and necks and shit.
He killed a bunch of people and like injured like something like 40 something.
Yeah.
But he went around stabbing the shit out of people.
Yeah, he
so
was like,
I get it. I get it. That does fit the anti. Hey, that's not. You could kill just as easy with a knife. Can you really? You gotta get really close. But stop. Okay, that was from 2014. I understand we haven't had a case that supports that kind of argument in a long time, or at least one that's actually been reported. But for God's sake, every time there's a shooting and the Second Amendment stuff comes up, people flock to that damn article, and I'm tired of seeing fucking shared or sent to our WCF page. Yes, we know about it. We've seen it. We all have seen it. Please stop rehashing shit to try to fit your agenda. Hey, try to be better than the other folks, because we're going to get beat up on, but it's where's my whiskey? I can't. I started a new diet today. And
I was about to say, dude.
Fuck this.
Woo, man! I hear you. I can hear you shaking from here. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. Are we still up on Twitter? We haven't been blocked yet.
No, we're still up on Twitter.
Wow.
You can check us out on Twitter. You can get the link at WTF Nation Radio. But more specifically, we're broadcasting off of Periscope, which is owned by Twitter. We actually have, hey, look at that, we've got like 20-something views, and we even have somebody watching us. Hey,
cool.
Thank you for watching
Awesome.
us on Periscope. It's just started. It is new. So if you're listening here, if you have a Periscope or you want to download it long enough to give us a like and tell us we're awesome, you can go to Periscope at WTF Nation Radio.
Do they have the
and
same?
we're also on YouTube, Mixer, now Twitter and /Periscope.
Do we have?
Ballin'.
What do we have? Do they have the same like legalities and stuff like that, like Facebook Live? So if I'm posting some shit or we're playing some of our music that they think is fucking, they do have the same thing.
Like with YouTube, like with with 95% of any kind of media outlet like going out, we can't play the fun music. So hey, if you know somebody who wants to send us music, send us a letter of, hey, he's allowed to use music, signed the person that owns the music, feel free to send to us. We'll put it on the air.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna take a break. We're gonna play some music that you guys probably haven't heard or not heard, whatever. Everything's stated on WTF Nation Radio. You'll hear that too in a minute. So with that, shots.
Shots.
Oh yeah, we say shots, by the way, for you Twitter listeners. We listen to shots. We say shots a lot. So like taking alcohol shots, not
Not
never mind.
shooting
Not
people.
shooting
Calm
people.
your
Yeah,
asses
exactly.
down.
I was
already
about to
feel the
say.
anger coming up. Did we trigger somebody?
No, I'm just
Go sit down.
just go. All right, we're back.
Well, it definitely is all about the visuals, although pretty sure it's illegal.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing. Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back. Part 2, broadcasting live from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence on this 19 February 2018. This is the Monday edition with Flash and Ice and Spanky.
And still live on Periscope and Twitter.
We are? Holy shit. Damn, all those
Yeah, we even
F-bombs
got
and-
more people like listening. We have like 5 people viewing right now.
Damn. Okay.
It's kind of crazy, including WTF Nation Godzilla. He doesn't count too much, but
No,
hey,
he doesn't count.
We
No.
still have him on there.
No, Godzilla. I mean, Godzilla's Godzilla. You let Godzilla do whatever. Otherwise, he'll smash your town. No, that's cool. I mean, I wonder what so how that works is we're broadcasting on Twitter. So just like if you have a Twitter account and you follow us on WTF Nation Radio, you'll be able to go on the WTF Nation Radio timeline. Is that how it works? Just like Facebook, and you'll be able to listen to us on Twitter.
Well, so on Twitter, if you go to at WTF Nation Radio, there's a link and it says live. So once you click that, it'll send you to a desktop version. If you're listening off your computer, it'll give you a desktop version of Periscope. But if you go to Periscope itself, which is owned and run by Twitter, then it will you can do it through your phone at the Periscope app or whatnot. So there's lots of different ways to do it.
Cool. All right. Well, if we got some streams going and it's going, then love it. Wow. I was waiting for the triggering. You know what I mean? Because you start. I don't know. I think it's because I think Twitter is the calmer version of they like drama. Facebook is now becoming the is like the dumpster fire, and then Twitter's now like the it's like the calmer dumpster fire. Before it sets off, I guess you would say. They're more of the I don't know. Hard to explain. So. I think we talked about enough of the gun stuff. We're gonna bring up a story about the shooting, but that's gonna be a little bit later.
Well, before we move too far off of it, I do want to put out that the main page folks did do a call for attendance for the
Yeah, that's what I was gonna talk about. That's what I was.
Do you want to mention that?
Well, I was gonna talk about that. Well, I mean, we can talk about that right now. Yeah, right. Okay, so yeah, I'll bring that story up right now. Okay. So during the shooting, while the shooting was currently was in its as it was happening, there was a kid, 15-year-old kid, right? Is that what his age was? His age, 15
yep.
years old. This kid, Cadet Peter Wang, was holding the door for the students, and he was yelling at kids to go into a building so he could secure the door behind them. And when this happened, and mind you, he was in his little adorable little JROTC uniform. Cadet Peter Wang was killed in doing that. So tomorrow at 1100, actually tomorrow at 10:30, I want a formation out at the Crayer Funeral Home and Cremation Center at 1655 North University Drive in Coral Springs, Florida. I want a formation there at 10:30. And if you're a veteran, if you're active duty, I know there's different duty stations that are around that location. I want you guys to be in uniform and present, some WTF Nation respect for the family of Cadet Wang. Don't worry about parking. If you look up at the if you direct your attention to the visuals that I have right now provided for you, there is a parking lot. You'll see where the funeral home is at, but there is a parking lot just across the sidewalk, and to the western portion of that block. You'll see some parking there. Form up there, okay? Form up there tomorrow at 10:30. The funeral service is going to be from 11 a.m. until 1400 tomorrow. So this kid was in the school's JRTC program and was last seen in uniform holding the door for his classmates so they can escape safety, and he was holding the line as he was getting hit.
Now, if you don't get a chance, or if you were if you didn't hear us right, and you on the WTF Nation radio page, Facebook page, or U.S. Army WTF Moments, the posts are up there that have the addresses and all this stuff. And I have to say, this, like, today has kind of brought a tear to my eye for more than for how the veteran community has been treating this. Dysfunctional veterans actually came out and said that they're going to be presenting coins, a Gold Star flag to the family, and so much so, this kid actually was trying to go to West Point. So West Point, somebody from West Point's actually reportedly driving down to present the family a letter of acceptance for this kid. I say kid, and I shouldn't. He's, as far as I'm concerned, he's a soldier.
Yeah. So, I want,
and it's been tough. Like, it's seeing everyone kind of wrap their arms around this our fallen comrade and hero has been, and his family has been kind of sad. So much so, there was a post that I saw actually on the U.S. Army WTF Moments original page that I didn't show. My wife didn't know about this story, but I'll read this because it was something touching. That one gentleman wrote, "I can imagine now. In the halls of the fallen, where songs of glory and honor are being sung with loud, thunderous bravado, where big-barreled-chested men tell stories of their brothers, of their achievements, and of their lovers, where drinks and food are being consumed, where fathers and sons are united, where sisters and mothers share their tales of glory. Then a door creaks open from the front of the great hall. Then all fall silent. There stand a young lad, not sure what to do. Then a warrior from a long time ago, times long forgotten, walks to the boy, placing a hand on the boy's shoulder and says, 'Do not worry, you are home. Come sit at the table of heroes.'" And even reading that, like, I'm trying. Yeah. I apologize. There must be some ninjas cutting onions in here or something. Even reading those words have just got me really pretty emotional. It's just, this kid, this young service member, didn't think that this was going to be the end. Didn't think about himself. He did what even this ROTC in high school was teaching him to do, and teaching about honor and duty and what we do as service members, past, present, and future. And he didn't think that this was going to be the end for him, but he also didn't think about his own. He didn't think about it. See, the embodiment of selfless service, holding these doors, getting people to safety, not caring about his own or whether he'd see tomorrow or not. As far as I'm concerned, he's a brother at arms, and it's an awful shame that somebody already who understands what it means to be a service member in our military, will not actually be able to serve more than just that day. But just in case if any of the family ever listens to this at all, or people that know him, I want it to be known that he is, and I've seen it across from different veteran pages, whether we may agree with them or not on certain things, that he's one of us. that family deserves to be, to the same treatment as we would if somebody fallen service member in Afghanistan or Iraq. This kid is a hero. This kid probably saved a lot of lives, and I don't know. I'm trying not to get emotional now, but ninjas and onions and everything. But it is terribly sad, and it's this kid deserves our honor and our respect, and I really do hope that if I was closer to if I was within a state, I would be there, and it's kind of sad that I'm not.
Yeah, I know. I feel
But
the same.
if you're in the Florida area, I really hope that you can get out there.
So it is 1655 North University Drive in Coral Springs, Florida, at the Crayer Funeral Home and Cremation Center. The services are going to be from 11 to 1400. I want a formation out there at 10:30, and that way you guys please pics. That way we can honor this kid. I don't want this kid to be forgotten. I mean, just like I don't want anybody else's kid to be forgotten. But this right here, this little guy, he's a little soldier, man. It's just one of those things that you can't, like you said, Flash. It's really hard to place. This is the stuff. This is what, man. This kid would have been an outstanding soldier. This kid in our army would have been. I mean, this is the dream that this kid was in JROTC, was applying to go to West Point, and had made the ultimate sacrifice. Now there are some. Everyone's talking about having a petitioning to the DOD to give him a military service with full honors and all that. There are some things that obviously can and can't happen within the DOD because he wasn't in the military. However, I think the WTF Nation and I think the veteran community down in that area, knowing what the details are of his funeral service, will be there in full to ensure that he gets the proper send-off.
There's people volunteering to come from California.
Yeah.
With a group to do. I fully expect that this cadet is going to be treated just like any other service member down in the line of duty. I fully expect a big turnout, and like I said, if you are there and you can take a couple respectful pictures for us, we'd love to show not only the veteran community how we do it, but show everyone else how the veteran community wraps our arms around our own. And as far as I'm concerned, he's our own.
Yeah. Yep. So, I really don't, without getting too emotional, because my eyes there must be some dust in the atmosphere right now. Like I said, man, Cadet Wang, dude, you're a hero. And, holy shit, you can't really place, it's indescribable. I'll just say it. I'll just leave it at that. It's indescribable. Everybody that supported the shares and follows on U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio and sharing this information to get it out there, we appreciate it. Dysfunctional Veterans, thanks for highlighting all the details with this as well. Once we got the information out, I guess there's a GoFundMe account for him as well. I guess there's several GoFundMe accounts for the kids. Attorney General Pat, what was it? Pam Bondi said, or Pat Bondi, or Pam Bondi, I think is her name, said that there will be no one will pay for their funeral. So she said that on media. So if you guys got anything going on where that's for a fact and that's legit and we're good to go, then we're good with that. We don't want to be sending any. We don't want any bad to come out of this. These are the type of stories that come out of tragedy that you hear about. The JRTC kids using Kevlar blankets to protect them. Cadet Wang holding the door and telling kids to come inside the building. And then he was obviously killed. From what I'm understanding, they're tearing the building down where the kids were killed in. That one specific building.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, now that I feel like the onions have passed a little.
Yeah.
And, my wife, I was explaining to my wife, and it is kind of hard to explain to people that aren't in the military how this feels. But I'm glad that we I'm glad that we, as manly men, took the time to highlight this because,
Yep. No.
Kid deserves it, but
he does.
There are more things. There are more interesting things going on. I won't say more interesting. That's wrong. I would say there's more things going on that are also interesting, including the new policy that the U.S. military is going to enact. You want to tell us a little bit about what our great General Mattis has got in store for everyone?
I'm so glad you mentioned this. So glad you mentioned this. Okay. So everybody knows that the military currently is facing a crisis of soldiers that are non-deployed, right? And which, of course, that is an issue. Readiness is an issue in our military. If you can't deploy, then why the hell did you join the military? You did not join the military just to get to college, right? No, you joined the military to deploy. In doing so, the military has also noted that there are individuals who are not deployed, that are non-deployable, have been non-deployable for quite some time. So that
not like you've been non-deployable for a month.
Yeah. Like you guys have been
for like years.
Yeah, you guys have been writing freaking profiles. So a memorandum just came out. Actually, it's been already issued out, and it was actually a policy that was discussed and implemented last year, but now it is, I will guess you would say, more ratified, or more of a
it's happening.
It's happening now. This is happening. Now this is going to happen. So if you guys pay attention to the screens up on all of our streaming platforms, it says right there that service members who have been non-deployable for more than 12 months for any reason.
Except if you're in a pregnant or / postpartum program, you are included in the exempted program. Because as soon as
let me rewind that.
I was reading that, my wife goes, "What about?" And I was like, "Hold on, let me finish the whole thing." You're good to go if you're pregnant or in the post part of that. But it's gonna be some interesting. This will be interesting how they enact this whole bad boy.
Any reason. How about that? How's that for enacting? Any reason? I got in an argument with with some people about this. Hey, you can't deploy. The Army says you can't go, then you're non-deployable, then you got to go. However, I'm a kind sergeant. I'm a loving sergeant, and I believe that there are duty positions within the U.S. Army that can be best served by individuals who've been broken. I don't want to say that should be a golden ticket for you to.
I've got a golden ticket.
Yeah, exactly. You broke something, or you broke your back, or something like that. But I am sure that there are soldiers right now that are really good. That obviously, I don't know, W amputees, guys who've had their legs blown off and shit like that. I am sure there's some soldiers there that, yes, you're obviously not going to be back to fit fight shape like you were before. However, due to your talent still serving as a soldier, and you do have the proper leadership attributes, maybe we could put you in a garrison assignment. You know what I mean? That's like your golden ticket to work in a garrison assignment, right? A wounded warrior. That, to me, is the better rehab program for our wounded and injured soldiers, as opposed to saying, get the fuck out of here, you're done, you're out of here 12 months, because we don't want to send you to rehab. Because I need numbers to send to GRTC. So instead, why don't you spend that amount of energy in sending those soldiers who have truly been broken? Like, I'm talking about guys, there's some kids out there that have been fucked up. I'm serious, that have been jacked the hell up while they've been training or while they've been deployed in combat. And rightfully so, they deserve to be treated, and injured or training, doesn't matter. Anybody who is hurt in the performance of their duties deserves to get fucking fixed and rehabbed and up and out. There you go. You're good to go. If you can't put the soldier down on the line because of his injuries, then fine. Find that soldier a place where he can go, because he's already been deployed, right? He's already deployed. That's how he got injured, in the performance of his duties. So you can't really fault the soldier, right? However, there are some that like to be on temporary profile for knee pain. And knee pain. And knee pain. And knee pain.
Forever.
For knee
now,
pain.
I will admit, I have gone on for shin splints before. Did the temporary profile, got off, was good, fine again. But there are some folks in every And it's not just public affairs or something where people don't see them as, I've seen 11 Bravos and seen everybody get out those temporary profiles. So they just want some time to relax a little, but forever.
And I mean, the same kids that have knee paint profiles are the ones that you see in doing Tough Mudders or playing, during unit organizations or hanging out with their families, playing volleyball, doing football, playing basketball, whatever.
Oh, no, Top, this isn't against my profile. Of course I'm allowed to play flag football.
Exactly that. Now, if should anything happen one day, the Army says, which is one of the bigger things that happen, I would rather retire than be told to get out, if that makes any sense. Like, if I have to get out and it's looking like it's going to be like that, I'll retire. That's what I'm saying. The same thing anybody should do. Go ahead and get out. If you know that you're in a possibility where you're not going to be able to be deployed anymore, but you want to ride a profile, because there's some profiles that technically, I mean, if you look at some of the things that what soldiers do, and I've seen them in the combat zone do, I don't really think that it's necessary for them to have had that profile for that, if that makes any sense. I mean, Spanky, you've seen that too, right? You've seen soldiers that have been on profile that have still deployed, but that profile doesn't kick them out. You know what I mean?
Oh, exactly. And I'll be the one to admit it. I was on the most restrictive profile possible to not get me med-boarded for the last 4 years I was in the Army. And
but you deployed and you performed, right?
Yes, I did.
Exactly.
And I didn't deploy, but I PCS to Kuwait. And I wound up getting kicked out of Kuwait because I, got another stomach hernia that actually got me medevaced out of there.
Okay, well,
yes,
that's different.
But
that's different though. But that's different though. But you were not holding it back.
No,
it was nothing to hold you back.
Because I wasn't. That's what got me even more fucked up. Because we're stubborn people when we're on Team Old.
Exactly.
That happens, and because the position I was in, you're not going to make anybody do anything that you're not going to do yourself. And again, that happens. And again, if I had taken care of myself a little bit better when I was a little bit younger, I probably wouldn't have been in the position that I was then. That's really the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, the Army fails at taking care of soldiers when they break anyways.
Exactly, and that's what happened when I was younger.
Yeah, because the Army now, we get a lot of shit in the main page, man, of soldiers getting their fucking appointments canceled for necessary surgery by captains. The less than 6 years of the Army for fucking underwater basket weaving for fucking degrees. You know what I mean? And they say straight up that no, you don't need to deploy. And this is an argument that me and Jose, and I wouldn't say got in an argument, but we got in a heated discussion about it. And then that's what we're just going back and forth. I'm all about it. Like I said, if you can't be in, you can't be in. Then it's time for you to go. If the Army said, yeah, you got to go, I should go. Cool. But I'm okay. But however, did you try to fix me? Did did the Army attempt at anything? Because that's what I see. It almost seems like they're just throwing fucking kids away. Did you not help these kids out at the time they got broken? If you did help them out and you legit ensured the soldier got to that, good to go. Then obviously if the soldier cannot be rehabbed or fixed and these injuries have caused them to be non-deployable, then of course I support that. But to sit there and say for any reason, now when I say any reason, those are for the kids that got hurt. Totally, I want to make sure that our kids get hurt, that our kids that get hurt get fixed, I should say. I want them to get fixed. I want them because I'll be honest with you, in about 12 months from this regulation, from this policy, the VA system is about ready to get fucking burdened with 250,000 cases of soldiers getting put out. 250,000 cases. Now, what about the soldiers that are undergoing transitioning from transgender to whatever transgender they're going to? What about soldiers with HIV? What about soldiers with specific conditions?
No, I was in a garrison unit for the unit I was in. Like got reflagged and put under garrison. I was in that unit for 3 years. It was under 3 Corps.
Yeah.
And then it got reflagged to put under garrison. I was in that unit for 3 years. I was in this unit with very many soldiers with HIV, and at that time, you know, hey, they just put them
Wrap
in
your
that
jumps,
unit,
folks.
and but exactly, they were all on these profiles that, you know, hey, they did everything that any other soldier could do except for deploy.
Yeah.
So who knows?
And that's my
exactly
point.
what is that going to happen to them now? I don't know.
What's gonna put them out because they can't deploy?
Yeah.
That's what's gonna put for any reason now. Now, so you've already broken it up by 2 classes so far. We have the classes of those that have been broken and also the shit, and the Army can't fix them, so they got to put them out. I'm just being statistical at this point, and you know, clinical at this. And then you have the soldiers that have the HIV, and they're transitioning through transgendering, because their medication and stuff will make them non-deployable.
We keep getting this question, and we've gotten it a couple times on our Facebook Live about the 18-year sanctuary thing, and I think that a lot of people get that, you know, mixed up. There's no such thing when you're on active duty.
What are you talking about?
The 18-year sanctuary program that everybody, and it's come up like 3 different times in Facebook Live about the 18-year sanctuary program.
Oh, that if you hit 18 years, you'll get retired as you'll get carried out to 20. You're right. There is no such thing as I have put soldiers out before, and because of that as well. And
there's no such thing on active duty, I believe, and of course I'm not an expert on National Guard or Reserve time, and I believe that 18-year sanctuary thing comes in to play somewhere in the National Guard or Reserve. I'd have to look that up.
The 18-year
thing as an 18-year sanctuary program.
The 18
you can get out. You can get put out at 19 years. And
the 18-year
11 months.
11 months, exactly that, and still not get retirement. You'll get rated for unless your end of service window carries you over to 20, then you'll get retired at the high 3 rank or whatever you got at. But the what was that 18-year protection thing is for punitive and administrative actions only. So if you were to get in trouble and you are of senior enough rank to get out, then you will be relieved, flagged, put out the Army. Like you're not going to be allowed to you're not going to be allowed to compete for promotion. You will go to your end of. Now, if you're at 18, yes, and you have an additional time, like say you're promotable. There's some little freaking thing that someone told me about this. When it comes to medical, though, like you're right, medical, you can have 19 years, 11 months. And 28 days, and you will not be retired. You will be rated for benefits for disability under the VA, but that's about it. You will not get retired.
Right, and that was one of the very first things they counseled me on.
Were you?
Because I had
Go ahead.
19 years and about 9 months when my med board started. And they're like, oh, I believe you have enough time to finish.
Oh, so they were looking at seeing how far they were gonna, like the time,
yeah,
because the
exactly,
process, yeah.
I was, like I said, I had about 3 months left to make my 20-year mark, and they're like, yeah, we're pretty positive we'll be able to hit you. You can hit your 20-year mark before we get done with this.
Yeah, correct.
But there was still always the option.
Yeah, exactly.
It could have gotten done before.
It could have been done faster. It's always 255 days up until completion. The med boards are now coming back fast. So, but anywho, yeah. Now those are the 2 classes now. Now there's the 3rd class, motherfuckers who've never been deployed, that hide out, that have specific ranking people taking care of them and moving them in the positions we call dwell whores in the Army. And these
the folks that get 7 and 7 and never deploy.
The ones that get 7 and 7 or 9 and 13, never deployed, and always seem to make sure that their schedules and their lives, they're about the same line as welfare soldiers. They want to be the first ones to fucking get all those soldiers that get fucking, they finish degrees, they go through their education, they only want to get sent to fucking awesome assignments that'll keep them there, and then they'll extend there forever and a day. And these are blue cords, these are tankers, these are fucking name your MOS that you get some of the guys that have been sucking in the field for a long time and they get a taste of the good life. You think they want to go back? Fuck, who wouldn't want to go back? But it still happens. You still have those welfare soldiers that want to stay and be a dwell whore. A dwell whore is somebody who does not deploy. A dwell whore is somebody who purposely goes out to a garrison assignment and never leaves, makes himself or herself so valuable to the command that the command doesn't want that person to go to secure them and ensures that they stay there for fucking ever. Or they get taken care of because the general thinks that soldier is a good asset to them to do whatever because they carried his bags right or some shit. That's what a welfare soldier is. That's what a fucking dwell whore is. They're like fucking, you know, they're as useful as wet toilet paper. Nowadays, if you're into that, you know, wet toilet paper is good.
Who the hell needs toilet paper?
Exactly. So everyone's like, oh, well, you know, whatever. So those, I think, those are the first group of people. It should be flipped. Those are the first ones that should go. Like we're scrambling right now. Everybody and anybody. Let me give you a little unknown fact, and I'm glad we're on Twitter. Did you know that there's an element of the 10th Mountain Division being tasked to be sent to the SVAB, a purely volunteer assignment, of course, because they're so short? Because commands don't want to get rid of them, and they're actually telling soldiers not to go join them? Not to join the SVAB? There are people that are hiding out.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There's a story about it in the main page, about ready to blast out. I feel sorry for you guys.
There's your preview.
Oh, man. So these soldiers that have been hiding out, we can't be innovative if we have soldiers hiding out. So let's get all these soldiers that have been dwell whores and find out who they are and put them out to the front lines. Put them out to the soldiers that are getting ready to go. The SVAB's fitting to deploy in about, I don't know, a few months. They're going to Afghanistan at the end of the year. So send them out. Hey, all the guys that talk about deploying and I'm this, I'm that, I'm a badass and whatever. Well, now's your time. Now is your time. You ever see those guys in garrison units that were in infantry units or as special operations units and talk about being, or in the 82nd, and talk about being in group? And back when I was in group, or back in the 82nd, or back when I was in infantry, or back when I was this. Well, here's your chance. We are SVAB. Join the SVAB. I fully condone it. Join one of our special operations units that are looking for people. Come on, go out there, you dwell whores. Come on out there.
And what I appreciate is, Secretary Mattis has come out and said, deploy or get out rule is about fairness, which I love. Oh, and if you go on Navy Times, on their Facebook page, there was somebody who, apparently a mother who just didn't really understand, but she made this comment, and I wanted to get it out before we got too deep in anything else. Quote, comes from Linda Pierce. There are jobs that don't require that are still very important military positions. And I said that correctly. Did your butt defend our country, old man? And then she got about a couple hundred comments telling her this is the one and only Mad Dog Mattis, and are you crazy? And you're stupid. And even I got on there going, do you not know who this guy is? Don't mind the bags under his eyes. That's when he was taking a watch forever. But people are stupid, and she later wrote that her son's Navy and that he's always on a ship and he shouldn't have to be able to deploy. And then somebody corrected said it's not about he has to deploy every second. It's that he should be able to deploy, and that's the big thing. You don't have to be in the chute to go to stay in the military. You just have to be able to go. Like, I've been deployable. When I got back from Afghanistan, I went 4.5 years without deploying, except a couple of training rotations. I don't count those, regardless of the wording whatever military organization uses these days. Like Korea doing the Korean defense training rotation does not count as a deployment. I don't care what anyone says. But I was deployable for 4.5 years, and I was raring to go. They just didn't have a place to send me to. So in case anyone's getting, and I know a lot of people here are pretty smart, so I'm sure that's not going to happen. But they're not saying if you're not deploying, you're getting kicked out of the military. You have to be able to. If they call your number, you need to be able to go. Not, Oh man, I have shin splints. I've been on profile for a year and a half, but I can't go. You're out. Bye. We're no longer, and I appreciate that. We're no longer going to play the game of let me pet sit all you people that can't do your job.
Yeah,
if
no,
you can't do your
yeah.
job,
I'm not all. I want which that's that big formation we were talking about. Like we were talking about having a formation of all the people who have hit out. Those are the ones that should go.
Yeah. No, what he just said is like completely true because, like most people, when they go to Korea, it resets their dwell time.
It did reset mine.
It did not reset mine because I brought my daughter with me. And if you bring your family with you to Korea, it doesn't reset your dwell time.
Really? That's illegal as fuck. That's wrong as fuck.
If you bring your family with you to Korea, it doesn't reset your dwell time. So yeah, my dwell time kept building up those entire 2 years I was there too. So my dwell time was like insane when I got back from Korea too. I was like, no, I ain't been nowhere. I went to Korea for a couple years, but I was still deployable the whole time I was in Korea. I just wasn't fucking going anywhere because I was in Korea.
Deploying would have been a lot better. But when I came back, I know dwell time, which was funny because I was also ETSing at the same time. So who cares at that point?
No, but that's not my point, though. Those are the three classes of soldiers that they should flip around to look at. So we've already got the soldiers that were broken. Now, again, going to those garrison assignments, I think those would be good places for like the wounded warriors to go to, like guys that got fucked up, like literally IEDs, or they got hurt during training or something like that. Everybody knows for a fact that, oh my God, this guy got fucked up. Somebody's had legitimately hurt. Some of these units actually need to get filled. Don't get me wrong. The reason why you complain about the long lines and long waits at some areas in garrison is because of that. Is because nobody's assigned to those units that need to be assigned to there.
There's other downside to that because, I was one of the few soldiers that was not completely and totally fucked up when I was in garrison. So I'm one of like 5 people that can.
Well, Mike Golf volunteered to deploy many a times and was told no.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean? That should be a service.
Right. The replacement company at Hood, like, okay, all of these now, like the 3 Corps commander decides they need to do PT 5 days a week. Guess who is like one of like 3 people that can fucking run all these guys? All right, Sergeant Spanky, get out there and fucking run all these soldiers. I'm like, fuck. Like, add that to the reason why my back is fucking killing me because I'm running fucking 5 days a week now, at this very slow pace, so they don't get hurt.
Well, my biggest thing is that again is I don't my biggest you got kids that literally legit got hurt and now it's almost like when the Army tells you, okay, you're gonna turn in all your TA-50 tomorrow, and now everyone's scrambling to turn in their TA-50, right? You gotta scramble for that shit and all that stuff, and then you're not realizing that you're giving soldiers 12 months. Now, I don't know about some injuries, but some injuries don't get healed in 12 months. Some injuries don't get fixed in 12 months. Some people need complete rehab in 12 months.
No, and I think that just like everything else in the Army, there's probably going to be some type of waiver for that if it's legit.
No, there was no waiver.
It would probably have to, come from a higher level of doctors.
No, that's the point. The higher level of doctors. Who do we always see get busted in fucking and not going to GRT or going to GRTC? You see it on the main page all the freaking time. You see these kids on crutches and you see these kids in arm slings going to fucking whatever because their commanders canceled their fucking appointments.
The ones that are getting it just from their PAs that, answered just to their commanders.
And exactly that. And there's a PA at a group or a division. And again, it's just one of those things where you got those kids that I feel sorry for them. It looks retarded. Can you see retarded on Twitter? Am I going to get banned from Twitter for saying retarded? But anyways, like Minx likes to say. There we go. I'll get everybody in trouble. I'll dime everybody out. But look what you're doing. You're humiliating the soldier. Because guess what happens when you take that soldier out? Because you have numbers and you need numbers because your commander is telling you, your brigade commander or your battalion commander is saying you better have everybody out there, blah blah blah. But these kids got appointments for surgeries and shit. Nope. They can't do it. They can't have these surgeries because we need bodies for GRTC. Dude, man.
And unfortunately, you're right. And it's probably those younger kids are the ones that are going to get hurt worse and screwed over because they, I don't want to say they don't have enough balls to, say, hey, fuck off. I need to go see a referral to a specialist or this, that, or whatever. Because that's probably not it. It's just that they haven't been hurt long enough to, like, the doctor saying, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't be the one to, like, look at this.
Oh, I've seen soldiers get their shit get worse because the doctor canceled them out from JRTC. You know what I mean? And then they went and did something and then got injured even more. And then the commander's like, well, maybe don't look at me. That's where the commander's responsibility all of a sudden is not his responsibility when they hurt a soldier. So that's what I'm saying. So you got those guys right there. So again, that goes back to the rehab program. The Army rehab program sucks. Blows. They like to say that we're world-class athletes. They like to say that we're world-class athletes, but then what happens? We get treated like the fucking like the water boy when it comes to injuries.
It's non-existent.
Yeah,
as
exactly.
Far as I'm concerned.
Exactly. Exactly that caused. And then there was pregnant soldiers sent to JRTC. So there is no, before you sit there and say our soldiers are like world-class athletes, treat them all like world-class athletes. Because you know what world-class athletes get? They get doctors' attention. The coach doesn't even get involved in this program until they are told by the docs that are rehabbing the athlete, yeah, he's good to go. Put him back out there on the line. He's ready to run some games, run some plays, and then that's it. And you could see the results. I mean, you hear somebody about getting a spine injury and all that. You ever watch a football game and you see somebody get fucked up? Oh, you just had the lower cervical, blah, 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 C5 blast snap, and had some minor disc damage, but, it was surgery. He'll be back playing in a couple of games. Be back playing in a couple of games. The guy's had fucking back surgery, and he's playing. I mean, it'd be an extreme, but that's usually what you hear about the quick turnaround times with the athletes getting medical assistance. Anytime when the Army says they like to compromise or they like to compare themselves to other organizations that are of like organizations, shut up. Don't say you like Google if nobody wants to work there. Don't say you're getting treated like world-class athletes when I've known soldiers, to include myself, that have had injuries done that the Army just want to say, just take Motrin, you're good to go. Yeah, again, I'm shocked that again, this is good. This is a good policy. If you can't deploy, then you can't deploy. You can't. That's good. Get the soldiers out. However, don't fuck the soldiers in the process getting them out. That's exactly what I'm going to see. You're going to have commanders now that are and doctors now. They're going to be clicking med boards for everybody that possibly didn't need a med board. I'll move it to the other extreme.
If they do the med boards correctly, it's not a bad thing. Like, are they retainable? And if the med boards are done the way they're supposed to be done and not just rubber stamped, then it's a good thing. Like, because the med board is not supposed to be like to just kick a soldier out. It's supposed to be done like, are they retainable? Are they going to be able to be
correct? Correct. Because there's
retained on active duty.
Correct. Like you were telling me before, there's different phases of it that determine that, and then once it's determined that they're not able to stay, then they get processed out. But if they're able to stay, then they get put back onto the line.
Yeah, because so many people, when they think, oh, I'm going through a med board, it's like they think that that's automatically I'm getting med boarded out, and that's really not what it's supposed to be at all. It's supposed to be like, oh, I'm going through a med board, and that's really what it's supposed to be. Is like, oh, I'm going through a med board. It's supposed to be like, oh, I'm going through a med board, and it's supposed to determine whether or not my injuries are, the med board is supposed to be able to figure out, oh, are my injuries able to that panel of doctors is supposed to decide whether or not your injuries will allow you to serve on active duty or not. That's what it's really supposed to be figuring out, but it seems to be like this death sentence for your career now.
Well, I like the fact that but what I like the fact is that when you see and hear when you see and hear the Army going, there was something that I saw. Somebody sent me a link, and don't get me wrong, we have the most smartest kids in the Army nowadays than we do when I first joined in. When I first came in the military, I'm not saying we were stupid, we were smart, but now kids nowadays can look at computers and wave their hands, and the next thing you know, shit's connecting, shit's happening, and it's good to go.
My own son can rock his the iPad. He just don't tell him the code, because that boy would never get off it, and he's not even 3 yet. So yeah,
that's what I'm saying. My little one too is to him, his whole world is touch screen. That he goes up to my big ass 62-inch TV and tries to use it like a touch screen, because he is that savvy. Kids nowadays are savvy. So the Army they had this question: do you want to know where all the mad scientists are? Well, I thought mad scientists don't deploy. Do we deploy some of our mad scientists out to a combat zone, or do we get their brains and use them for like Rick and Morty type shit? You know what I mean? That's what I would. If you got a kid that's really freaking smart, and maybe he wasn't all that to be a grunt, but he's a really smart grunt and knows how to deal with fractal coding and understanding what it's like to provide some sort of electronic dissemination for some cyber unit that wants to go do some shit, then guess what? I think that's the kid that's the kid you kind of keep in the rear. That obviously he's not going to be a very good infantryman, but he's a genius, and he's able to build nuclear weapons in the back over a weekend. Then yeah, let's do it like that. But the Army sucks already at talent management and trying to find out who are the talented soldiers out there, because there are commanders, and I have seen this as a first sergeant. There are commanders out there that are actually threatened by the smarts of their soldiers. Literally are threatened by the smarts of their soldiers.
Oh, well, I can see that sometimes it does work, because, my buddy, he is retiring, this month. He was in BNOC with me, and yeah, I'm going to say BNOC and not ALC or whatever the hell y'all want to call it nowadays. And, when I was pregnant with a girl, he deployed, on his first rotation in Iraq and lost one of his legs, and he is retiring as a CW3 this week. So sometimes they manage to get it right and med board people and retain them. So it does happen, Sometimes they figure it out and say, oh, well, yeah, I guess he can still say, and he switched over from being, staff sergeant to a warrant officer, and sometimes they figure it out. Not all the time. Usually they're just like, nah, fuck it, kick them out.
Oh no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I figure it out. I mean, I know a kid. Yeah. He was a bug sergeant, and he had a fucking doctorate in some sort of like weird coding stuff and all that. And they sent him to work in the staff. Like, this kid could have invented the Army's new method of cyber warfare stuff, electronic warfare stuff, and this kid was good. If you gave him your phone, be careful. He was that dangerous. You know what I mean? He was that good. They sent him up to the staff. You know what he does at the staff? He was like fucking, I don't know, DTS or something like that. Because commanders, the kid was like one of those scholars that graduated high school like 15 and then got his PhD at 22. Because he was just that fucking, he was a savant, he was a freaking genius. Nah, you're going to staff. Where are all the mad scientists kept? Division staffs, because we don't know where they're at. I'll talk shit. I'll stoke the fire on this, because we have some damn good talent that I know for a fact. I don't want to say someone's expendable, but that's the kind of kid you want involved developing Army systems or developing Army equipment or help assisting in the development. There are just some people that are so nested within there, and you've seen it too, Flash, that are so nested in their own ways of thinking in that world that they don't want to hear it.
We get to this whole point where we want all these soldiers to do great things and create great things and create great policies. Yet, like you said, we hide them in other spots because they're like, commanders don't want to recognize, man, this kid is super smart. Like, he does not need to be down here on the line. He needs to be some laboratory coming up with this, that, and the other. And then what do? They, like you said, they put him on staff somewhere. Talent goes to waste, and no one likes to feel like they're not being appreciated. And then all of a sudden, the ETS, we have these quality people that are like either super smart or super everything being mismanaged and misplaced. And then all of a sudden, the ETS and the Army wonder why we're behind on certain things. And you see it, like you said, you see it everywhere. Secret Squirrel folks and public affairs, everywhere. We just have a weird way of managing ourselves that isn't productive.
Yeah, exactly. Now there's a purpose. Now finally there's a purpose for social media warriors and shit like that, and now we're letting them go. We don't understand how come we're losing the information war. I'll tell you why. Because you're having them doing exhaust samples in the fucking motor pool. We can take a break. Oh, man. This conversation's got me heated because I love soldiers. I love hanging out with the troops, and I want to make sure that the right soldiers are put in the right spots. As a senior enlisted advisor, I want to make sure that our troops are being put in the right positions and not just paying fucking lip service to some people just because we want to make a slide look good. So with that, shots, and we'll be back. Shots.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
You say I walk on the truth, but I I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.
I think we need to start playing that in case Twitter decides to block us and shit, because, far be it from, damn.
So far, so good, though.
Yeah, it looks, the interactions and stuff we got going on is cool. What I'm going to... Should I... Somebody showed me some numbers of tonight's show, which I honestly doubt. This is an atrocity.
We're being bamboozled.
It's catastrophic. It's preposterous. This is madness. This is WTF Nation Radio, the premier veterans voice of the U.S. Army WTF Moments, and we only have 800 viewers. No way. I don't buy it.
Especially when before all this new stuff happened, we were in the usually around the 4,000 to 5,000 range by the end of the show.
By the end of the show, yeah, we're about 5. So now, did we split views or something like that by jumping on Twitter? I don't know.
Not at all. Not at all. It's Facebook's algorithm, but everyone's feeling the pain from it. If anything, we're diversifying by going to the Periscope.
Yeah. I'm just
We see you, Zuckerberg. We see you.
Yeah. Yeah, Zuck. Punk ass Zuck. How are we looking on the other platforms anyways? Are we all right? Are we doing good?
We're bouncing, about between no and about 5 or 6 on Instagram. I'm sorry. On Periscope. There we go. Why did it take so long to say that? I don't know. So we're bouncing, we just started and stuff, but hey, there you go. But we got a bunch of likes on our Twitter. Yay. And then let me have a quick look over at WTF Nation Radio on the YouTube.
Yeah,
is it
what it is?
Where you can subscribe to.
Do we need to bring food or something like that? There's no way. I think we're getting zucked. I think Zucka likes to fuck us when it comes to this type of shit. How is it that Facebook complies with Putin when it comes to bad press given to him for his opponent? However, when it comes to broadcasting, I don't know, from America, he doesn't even doesn't give the veteran community a shout out like we normally do. I wonder. Obviously, this is probably affecting all the other streaming guys too that run the same stuff.
Oh, everyone's been taking a hit. I've been keeping a close eye on not just us, but keeping a close eye on everything, and it's been across the board. A lot of people, because our Tied Up Tuesday and Saturday Night Savagery are I like to think, according to the numbers, our biggest shows.
Yeah.
And then Friday's like a close behind it. And there used to be between 9 and 12, and on really, really good days, it'd be 15,000 views.
Oh my God!
And everyone's been brought down to the low single digits.
Just about. If anything else,
we will, by the end of the show, we will break 1,000, and then about tomorrow we'll be at 1.2K. It'll be something far cry from what we're used to.
No, because Jay Reddy once he changed. I remember Jay Reddy had pretty decent numbers, but then once he changed his format and decided to use Saturday Night Savagery as the tinfoil stuff, West Coast, what was that? Coast to Coast on the AM radio side is our version of veterans version of it. Once he went to that format, dude, he was launching in the 20s. His low numbers were 18,000 views, and now all of a sudden, within just a few weeks, we got zucked. You know what I mean? Is it fair that we get blasted like that? Is there anything?
On one hand, I kind of understand it as I don't want I'd rather see more of my family than everything else. But then when it comes to what we do, the opposite. I would rather, I want people to see us and hear the
right.
gospel that is us.
That's right, Baby Flash. See, Baby Flash says the same thing, man. I think did you just tell Zuck to go do something with himself? Is that what he's saying?
Hey, say hi, Ice.
How you doing, buddy? How you doing?
All right, now go to bed. Go on.
Aww,
so yeah,
Dorbs. Adorable.
He's been a handful today, dear God. But anyways, everyone's been feeling the pain, and I think it's been helping other platforms, especially like Periscope. That when it first came out, Periscope was everything, and then Periscope kind of faded away because Facebook Live came out, and then and everyone's rocking that, and now Facebook Live has been hurt. I mean, honestly, it's not just Facebook Live. If you're not a
multi-platform,
if you're a regular post, if you're an influencer, or not influencers, but if you're a business or like us, a radio station or whatnot, you are now getting the shit can of it because you are being devalued and pushed down on the timelines, and it's everyone's taking a beating. So all of our fellow radio folks from fellow veteran radio folks that do the same, maybe not as well as us because we're awesome, but still, they do the same thing. Everyone's been taking a hit from this, and it's not just us, but all businesses have been taking a hit. So it's kind of crazy how this has been going down.
Well, I mean, again, I just think that this is that the WTF Nation deserves to get heard. And if Facebook is cutting us down, and like I said, if Facebook is willing to listen to the Russians on stopping their fucking campaigns against Vladimir Putin, then why is it then why are they doing that to us? Why are they doing it to some of the places here? You would think that in the big market of, I don't know, a few billion fucking users of Facebook, that I would just leave that thing fucking wide open. You know what I mean? I just leave it wide open and let it create. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, he went public. I mean, you would think that would be the reason why he would make money, and he would make even more money if he just opened up the pipes and just let it go. You know what I mean? This everyone gets a trophy bullshit when it comes to broadcasting and all that. That's the whole reason why this underground type of radio happens, is because you're getting suppressed. I mean, I couldn't even imagine. It's Jim Cannon, and he's our terrestrial partner, and I couldn't even imagine when he's broadcasting. There's a lot of stuff he would like to fucking say, but he can't say it because of censors and all that. And his station will take a hit. But with us, we're a little bit open, but then all of a sudden you're going to get restricted on something that's supposed to be open, if that makes any sense. It's just fucking bullshit, man. Fuck you, Zuck.
It's just, and we are doing our best to counteract everything. So before somebody says we're acting like a bunch of whiny bitches, I'm going to say that we will forever strive, and regardless if we only have one view, to bring out the greatest and best veteran-owned and operated information and entertainment as possible. But for the time being, fuck you, Zuckerberg. Your movie sucked. You suck. Your hairline sucks. Go away.
Yeah, it's another thing too. A lot of aspiring filmmakers and musicians, I couldn't even imagine how much they can have. I mean, think about this. If you want to, because here's the thing. Why is it that you are being, like they even say, you boost this ad, boost this, and you'll reach more people, but you don't reach the same amount of people when you're so used to broadcasting WTF Nation Radio and U.S. Army WTF Moments on a total broadcast hour, have an open audience to up to 1.5 million followers. So what I don't understand is, you mean to tell me of those?
It's funny though, you can't actually boost during a broadcast.
Correct.
But then because they're not making money. So they're really, the problem I think is they're really just not making money off of folks like us, because we don't need. When we're on our normal awesomeness and kicking ass, we didn't need to boost anything. Our numbers were good and even on the rise. Because before this happened, I kind of gave my briefing to the command folks about what's going on and how our numbers are looking, and we were on the rise for about everything.
Big time.
And then this new thing came through, and now we're on the deep. I don't know. Maybe it's a way that maybe there's enough folks doing their own independent thing that the Zucker thought, hey, I need to get a piece of the action, or maybe legitimately like, I don't want families to have to fight. I shouldn't. If people want to see Aunt Susan's picture, then they shouldn't have to fight through 80 Coca-Cola ads to do it.
Net neutrality? Was this net neutrality? Do you think this is part of the Zuck plan? Ooh, man, you want to have another conspiracy theory? I know we don't do that forte here, but is that a conspiracy theory? That
might almost be a relevant conspiracy theory, considering that, the whole net neutrality thing, and all of a sudden now we're having all these things where we're being censored and messed with, and I'm waiting for a thing that says, hey, if you want to be broadcasted more, then you need to pay X amount of money or X amount of dollars. And then I'll tell them to go fuck themselves. We'll do it the good old-fashioned way, but whatever.
No, but what I mean, though, is that the net neutrality thing is used as a propaganda tool for them to then see, if you have net neutrality, you'll get more viewers. This is why you're not getting viewers, WTF Nation Radio, U.S. Army WTF Moments, due to the fact that net neutrality was removed by the current administration. And you know what I mean? Everybody's like, what the fuck, man?
It's this whole thing's getting ridiculous. We shouldn't be where we're at now anyways, our numbers across the board have suffered because of this, and it's not just us, it's everyone. You name it, everyone's suffered.
Oh, yeah.
And no one's going to be immune to this. It doesn't matter if you think you're hot shit or what do you call it? You're Matt Best, or you're just some Joe Blow or Alpha Gators. Doesn't matter. Everyone's been taking a hit.
Exactly.
And they have specific. Oh, like if you do this, that, which we do. We do videos. That a lot of people comment on, and our numbers still suffer. So even their own, like, oh, if you do this, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's BS. It's just Facebook. Facebook's just doing what they want to do.
Well, somebody told me that now everyone's moving away from Facebook.
Oh yeah. YouTube and Twitter have all been taking. Especially when it comes to video, Periscope it's almost like Twitter, Facebook's doing this has actually become like it's become Periscope's like reviving light. It's been kind of crazy.
Oh, no, seriously, I'm called old because I'm on Facebook now by the girl and her friends, and I don't know, I'm sure maybe I on team old, but there used to be Facebook back in the day.
Well, I just got Facebook, and now everyone told me I got old.
It's like not me. Facebook. Goddamn MySpace.
Well, no, yeah, I had MySpace back in the day. I was hip to that stuff when I was young and going through as many wives as I was going through. But
yeah, and you could put your music on there and put all these pretty pictures and blah 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 blah. That was my first social media experience. And where is that now?
Oh,
but where
that shit died a long time ago.
Yeah,
well,
exactly. But that's what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like now.
Well, what I'm saying is, I have a teenage kid that she does have a Facebook, but she does nothing with it except for listen to me and her dad. Like, she got it probably 3 years ago, but yeah.
Well,
she doesn't post anything on it. She doesn't do that. She's like, oh no, Facebook's for old people.
Well, looking at the Wu-Tang Investments ticker, Facebook is down already, and they're down at $177 per share, and down 2 points.
And I can completely believe that because this new market that's coming in is getting social media accounts.
But I'm going to counter that.
To do with it.
But I'm going to counter it, just like Flash said. I'm going to counter that. Twitter. See, it's now. It seems like Facebook has done an opposite with all the little groups that were sucking. So now Twitter, only at according to Wu-Tang Investments, a ticker says that it's $33 a share. And although it's only a half a point down, it's slowly rising on the max for this for since January, and it's going up. So it's slowly going up. So it's almost like what Flash was saying. On the flip side, all those small Periscopes, Twitters, nobody gave a shit about because Facebook was the in thing, right? And now it seems like the market is flipping. Now Facebook is the fucking errant enemy or of anything now. Oh, you got Facebook? Oh, you might as well just. That's like showing up with a hot rod and you're like, oh, you drive that. Everyone else has got this. You know what I mean?
Right. And Twitter, it's not like, oh, that's new or anything. You know, I've had a Twitter account for I don't know how many millions of years, like about as long as I've had a Facebook one, it seems like. You know, and Instagram seems to be their thing now, and you know, and Snapchat, and you know, oh
yeah,
my God,
Instagram and
all hate
Snapchat
that.
have been taking over.
And there's these
exactly
new
that.
like Lively's and Musicallys.
Oh my God, yeah, my daughter, my oldest, laughs at me because I'm on Facebook, and she's on the gram, is what they call it. She's on the gram.
Or the Insta.
And she's on the Insta, or she's on the Dad. You're on the gram. You need to get a Twitter, Dad, and you need to come on, Dad. You know, you're such an old man, Dad. You know, you're on Facebook, Dad. I'm like, okay. I thought I was being cool, I guess, but look at my little page. You know what I mean? It's all cute old man has. Oh, look at old eyes. Look at Dad. He's got Facebook.
Oh.
So yeah, it's really crazy. So again, do I have minivans playing Prince? What's wrong with Prince? Why are you hating on the Prince there, Cause?
Oh my God, is that Cause?
Yeah, Cause is hating on the Prince.
I'll fight him.
But going back to what I was saying, it seems like to the original subject is it almost seems that you're watching. Everyone's in the land of bots right now. Everyone's talking about the bots thing. It's the bots. It's bots this. It's bots that. I had somebody ask me if I was a bot on freaking Facebook when I said, "Are you a bot? Are you for real? Give me a PM." I'm like, "What are you talking about? What do you mean I'm a bot? Look at my shit. It says right there where I'm at. I'm not a bot."
No, but that's just it. It's like I do it all the time because I'll get a friend request from someone that I'm pretty sure, you know, that I do believe it's someone I've known, but I'll ask them, "Hey, send me a message with this." And if it's not a bot, then they send me the message with that. Then I know they're real.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just curious looking at the numbers because I'm not about numbers. I mean, I'm about to ensure that we provide you with entertainment, opinion, and info to the active duty and veteran community. So I don't care if there's 1,000 or one listening to us. We put in a lot of work to make sure that you guys get the information out there because there are people that listen. Trust me, we get freaking streams picked up, and the next thing you know, we have somebody like Xander calling us from freaking from Scotland, or we'll have somebody calling us from freaking from down under. So we even had some people from Thailand listening. So, anyways, just curious question. That's just a curious question.
No.
That's all. Just out of curiosity, what was up with the fucking Facebook bullshit? Why are we not getting fucking all the love that
They're
we're supposed
communists, that's why.
Oh, well, no. Well, you know what? That's a good point now that you mention that. They did listen to freaking Putin. Putin said, "Stop playing your shit against me when it comes to my opponent." I can't remember what it was. Somebody showed me this one thing at work, and they're like, look, fucking Facebook's fucking kowtowing to fucking Putin. I'm like, holy shit, they are. They really are kowtowing to Putin.
Well, the whole fake news phenomenon, and they're like, oh, you know, Facebook is doing all this stuff for, you know, to prevent fake news and everything. And, you know, I don't know if maybe this is a counteract, like, oh, well, if we limit the algorithms to anyone not family, you know, you're less inclined or less receptive to seeing stuff from from whatever bot or something like that. Which I have been on WTF Nation Radio, at WTF Nation Radio on Facebook and Twitter. I have been accused of being a bot, which has been kind of funny. So, are you a bot? It's like, yes.
Yeah. Are you a bot? I'm like, what are you talking about? Am I a fucking bot? No, I'm just giving you the facts. This is bullshit. You know, I'm glad you said that. You know what fake news, what we used to call it back in the day? Lying. We called that lying, a deliberate lie. It was lying. When it came to fake news, I didn't know who the fuck coined the word fake news. It wasn't D. Treasy, though. It was somebody else. Somebody else coined. But my point being is that they fucking... when someone said, oh, that's fake news, know that you're calling me a fucking liar when you say we're fake news. Prove it. So some of the stories that came out about the about the shooting and then what else is going on in the election and the Russians and colluding and blah, 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 blah. And then they say, oh, that's fake news. So-and-so said this and so-and-so said that, knowing for a fucking fact that it's a fucking lie. Straight up. The eclipse didn't happen. What are you talking about? Everybody saw the fucking eclipse. That's fake news. What do you mean it's fake news? It fucking happened. So, okay. That was just curiosity. So, I'm kind of conflicted about this, but I'm not what I'm not ready to talk about right now. There was an NBA All-Star game, and everybody stood up for the national anthem, which was, now I'm not conflicted about that. I'm just kind of conflicted by the way it was sang. Everyone, and how it was sung.
Oh my God, that was fucking terrible. Now, if you didn't know, yeah, go ahead and play it.
Okay. All right, I was gonna play it. So here we go. Okay. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I want you to play a clip of it.
Cats started screaming outside my house.
And thank you for not playing the whole thing.
I'm not going to play it because that she was doing it singing like the bombs are bursting in there.
So for those who don't watch or not NBA fans, who did not watch the All-Star game, it was Fergie, formerly known as one of the Black Eyed Peas. It's a pop group. It was very popular in the early to mid 2000s and broke up. We had will.i.am as another prominent member. Fergie went on to have her own solo career that's kind of fizzled out as of late. What's even better than listening to that is watching the reaction of the NBA players. You could see all of them were just trying not to laugh. Like all of them were making smirks and stuff. And while Fergie does have a good voice, it's not the tone of her singing. It's who the hell arranged it like that? That's like I just wanted who thought that was hey Fergie, you know what? The dressing room that sounded great. That was great.
Okay.
Mariah Carey, who? J-Lo, who? No.
She,
awesome as
Fergie sang it good. Don't get me wrong, but it was almost like it was an overdone skit from In Living Color. Do you ever watch the TV show In Living Color when they had those two the two singers that sang that male female that sang a duet that everything was a long gospel fucking song, Silent Night, fucking Oh Christmas Tree and all sorts of shit. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like it was a skit from a comedy show, and I thought it was until I started realizing this is the NBA All-Star game. This is like legit. And there are people, and I was looking in the video to find it, and I couldn't find the right angle. But the color guard holding the flag, there's one dude with a big smirk on his fucking face, like, are you fucking for real? There were players on the sidelines sitting on the bench going, are you fucking for real? Just watch it. You know, I don't want to play the whole fucking thing.
Everyone was chuckling. Everyone was laughing. I listened to the whole thing going, what the hell? Like, you know, that's just like, I saw a meme that said the national anthem was sung so bad that it made Colin Kaepernick stand up and say, you can't do that.
Exactly. It made Colin Kaepernick say, you can't disrespect the anthem like that. Beagles were offing themselves. That's how bad it was.
It was just bad. Like, again, the tone of her voice, she sounds good. It's just how she arranged the national anthem, which, hey, you know, people have done it, you know, done some screwed things. Like, look at, what's her nuts? Christina Aguilera. She's had her own interesting renditions of the national anthem. I mean, and J-Lo has, and Mariah Carey, dear God, that diva can't help it. But, I mean, it just was bad. It really was bad. And, like, you can see Stephen Curry smirking and laugh, Davon Green smirking, laugh. It just was not a good rendition. And the NBA game, the All-Star game, if you're not basketball, it's not your thing, that's not a problem. I do love basketball. The NBA game was a lot of fun. It was very exciting. Had a great ending. It was less of the pageantry like it used to be, and where there was no defense and there was all like people were almost scoring 200 points. And while this is a high-scoring affair, it was more like watching a really like an awesome like
dunk
backyard
contest, dude.
pickup game.
Yeah,
with
it was
just some
badass.
really good fucking players.
It was a really good game.
The game was fun, and one of the announcers was talking about trying to get them to install a whole instead of knowing who you're picking, you are knowing what team you're going to play on. You don't pick until you're at the game, so it's almost like you're picking at the gym and stuff like that, which I think would be kind of cool. So. If you get a chance to see it, I know there's some. It's on. I think it's on Hulu, but they also have it on. You can find everything on YouTube or whatnot. But definitely worth watching. And the national anthem oh my god, it just. What do these guys do to you? They never done anything to you like that. Don't have to be so mean.
Well, she did say, that she wanted something different. She didn't mean for it to turn out like that. She did release a statement saying that she didn't mean it to sound like that. She just wanted to do something different, which again, it's okay. Of course, anything in life and entertainment, something happens, then the Kardashians got to fucking respond. So fuck them. But the whole thing,
I mean, again, until they actually do something to be worth the popularity other than a sex tape, get the fuck out.
Yeah, exactly. So when she sang all that, and I think that the national anthem was only supposed to last like a minute or so, and she made it last for almost 2 minutes or 3 minutes, in the way that she sang it. She has pipes. She can sing. You know what I mean? She can blast it. That's awesome. She has an awesome voice, and I was like, oh, Fergie. Okay, she's gonna sing. Oh, I want to hear that. I can't wait to hear this. And then, oh my god.
But did she practice? I mean, like, was there not like one opportunity for her to practice that?
I don't know.
She might have. I mean, they always do. Like, these things are just not like, hey, somebody walks out there and does next. There's dress rehearsals.
I mean, exactly.
Yeah, they have
so maybe she decided to go. Okay, I'm gonna go, but push it a little bit more, or maybe they all were like,
exactly
hey,
that. Yeah,
Fergie, that was awesome, or we're too afraid. Fergie, that was fine. Good job.
So she doesn't have one best friend. That's what I'm thinking.
She doesn't have no.
Everyone needs a person to say, "Dude, that
sucked," or yeah, or maybe it was the version that she listened to. She was by herself, and like I said, because I've watched rehearsals for events like this before, and you're right. There are sound pickups. They do testing. They sound like that because that way. The artist that's singing the song can understand. They know that they're singing that, so that doesn't sound like they're fucking off tone. But I honestly think that she, wow. I mean, like I said, you had bats falling from the fucking sky.
Artist, I'm no this, but I have best friends.
That's bullshit.
And I'm never gonna let a best friend do something this fucked up. That much I know.
Well, I mean, she was already committed once the game was starting, and like I said, she came out looking all nice and shit.
Sing,
and whoa.
So...
She came out all hot looking. I'm like, oh, here she goes, here she comes, and then I'm like,
oh,
okay. And then she started going, the bombs bursting in the air. I'm like, oh my god. You should record that sound for Sear School.
Funny.
Oh my god. Here, you want to hear it again? You want to hear the beginning at least, or you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Are we gonna get
play the beginning. Let's play the beginning.
Here we go.
Songwriter, actress, and 8-time Grammy Award winner from Hacienda Heights, California, Fergie.
All right, looks good.
And this was actually in California.
Yes. Yeah, you're gonna present.
Can you see by the dawn's
sounds like it's in a jazz bar.
What so proudly at the twilight's last gleaming.
Someone was drunk.
And bright stars.
I'm doing my best Mariah Carey impersonation. right.
Oh my God! Oh my ears! Fuck! They're all laughing too. They're all smiling at her.
Thrill.
Bursting.
Some dogs are crying.
Oh God, dude!
Gonna go for that high note, but not really.
Oh man, I was prepared my mixer for that one. Fucking LeBron's face. I love it.
That part was okay.
That was a good part, yeah. Oh man. I got right doors. Oh man, have we get kicked off of Twitter yet? Because we're making fun of people. Because I know they don't like making fun of people. You know.
It just hurt my ears. My dog's ears have been perked up.
Dude,
I was 5 minutes.
Dude, I had to I was adjusting the sounds on my fucking mixer board here because they were peaking. I was seeing shit in the reds. I'm like, oh my God, I'm sitting here moving my sliders up and down to make sure. And then when she hit that high note, Pookie says he blames Trump.
Blame Trump. See that? You're my cat. My cat's freaking out because of it.
Oh man,
that just was hard to hear. Like she would go from like this like weird monotone to rah, rah, rah.
Yeah, but so Spanky, what'd you think of that? Did you hear it? Now that you heard it,
I actually heard it because I literally purposely did not listen to it because I don't listen to all the sportsing events, and I ignored it on social media, and now my heart is a little bit hurt because I love Fergie. Well, my heart is hurt. You know who I want to find? I want to find who her best friends are, and I'm kicking their ass. Like, who did not tell her that was not okay?
She doesn't have. I don't think anybody's close to be friends with her. You know what I mean? She doesn't. I'll be honest with you. I think people just kind of pander her to say, hey, yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's
and now I feel bad for her that she doesn't have best friends, because trust me when I say I have best friends that are going to tell me, no, bitch, you're not fucking wearing that, and no, you cannot sing. But
somebody did her a disservice. Somebody should have hey, look, I know you really want to sing it this way. It's new and popular. You sound like shit.
But this is the
new. Seems like a
and it's not like I'm a
actor.
singer for a living, and nobody would let me do that because I have best friends that tell me what I can and can't do.
Do you remember the frog from the WB?
Hello, my honey. Hello, my baby. Hello, my
She sounded like that.
Clementine.
She sounded like somebody who sang from like that era, or that frog itself.
Everybody's doing the Michigan. Yeah, that's funny as shit. I saw that when I was a kid.
That's what it sounded like. I'm not even trying to be mean.
No,
like,
I saw that when I was a kid.
Big Girls Don't Cry. Like, my wife loves that song, and it's a good song, and I like it. And it's just, for God's sake, it's just like you said, Spanky. She does not have a best friend, because I know my best friend would have been like, dude.
Yeah, you're not wearing that. You're not doing this. You're not going out in public looking like this.
You will not be happy with yourself if you do it. If you go out for this one. Oh my God, I don't. She's trying to honor the national anthem. She wasn't trying to make a statement. She wasn't trying to do anything like how it was popular. It's funny how things stop being popular and we move on to the next thing. But whatever. She didn't wasn't raising her fist at the end, or she just sang it, and I appreciate that. So I feel bad for
Yeah.
for making fun of her, but it's also funny as hell.
No, this wasn't a Sinead O'Connor Pope thing.
No,
Wow, you still remember that?
Oh, of course I do. Because Prince and Sinead O'Connor. Yeah, of course I remember that.
Because
that is like the first like little protest thing that stood out in my young mind. But yeah, it wasn't like, she was going up there to like sing something to make a statement. She was just up there singing or attempting to do something that was resembling singing. Ugh. And this is coming from someone that absolutely cannot but does love to sing. And ask anybody who's ever been around me in my car or in my shower. Because I will be the first one to admit that I absolutely will and love to sing, but absolutely cannot. But I know this. So you'll not get me in like a stadium. So.
I do think it's funny that you're right. Everyone panders to everybody so much. They kind of forget a little bit that they hey, maybe you shouldn't sing it like that. Maybe you should have sang it to someone else. Maybe you should just had somebody else sing it. You'd have been good to go. Oh,
exactly,
man.
and that's why everybody needs to keep their best friends.
I mean, okay, was it worse than when Mariah Carey tried singing singing for New Year's?
Which time? She sang it. She failed twice.
Yeah, she tried to make it like this last time. I thought it was funny as hell when they said, "Oh, Mariah Carey's gonna be on." I went, "Oh God, the redemption." And then even still, she tried to make I remember she tried to make a comment this last one about how oh well things are right this time or whatever. And I'm like, you lying sack of shit. You still sound like crap.
Again with her,
she was so drunk and so just like, get this damn jacket off of me.
How do you not?
I can't find my tea. I guess we'll have to muscle through it. I'm like, you're right. How will we ever survive?
I guess you'll have to. I guess you'll have to muscle through, because you're gonna have to muscle through. How do you not? Whatever. Anyways, we gotta do some house cleaning. Are we still on Twitter? Are we still blaring on Twitter?
We're still on.
Holy shit!
I know. It's like they want us to look. We got 2 people watching. I'll take it.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Tell your friends.
I wonder who's watching. Can you tell who's watching? Probably not.
Hold on. I can. I can't, but I because I'm logged in as me instead of the page.
Oh,
so.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. No worries. I was just curious. I mean, it's kind of cool. We're blessing that. I know that's 3 hours of Twitter nightmare music. So if you want to hear it again, you guys on Twitter, we broadcast 3-hour shows. And so we broadcast that stuff out for you guys, and then of course there's some stuff that you'll hear, some little added bonuses, videos and stuff like that that are posted on there sometimes as well. So, hey, this Friday we're gonna have Scott Morrison from Operation Supply Drop, and in response to a growing need of our deployed troops requesting generally relevant gear from back home, Operation Supply Drop was founded in 2010 with a focus on delivering video game care packages downrange. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is what I'm talking about right here. Video game. Because I tell you what, Joe's, doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter what rank you are, video games downrange are a necessity. Didn't think it was
hell. Everyone bought at the AFN in Bagram. Everyone bought like their own because we were in with some with a National Guard unit at the National Guard unit out of Florida, and they ran all the stole flights, and they also kept all the GPSs for the jingle trucks. We actually. Bunch of us bought Xboxes, Xbox 360, so we could hook up on the giant LAN network to play Halo Reach and to play Black Ops. And we would have everyone circled in. So every Saturday night, if you were in Bagram, at one point we had to have 2 different servers playing because we had so many people going down. Video games and being bored go hand in hand.
Yeah, if you don't play video games and you're deployed, I mean, come on, this is awesome. So Operation Supply Drop is a direct reflection of those who, listening to who we serve. Tens of thousands of our active duty members receive care packages courtesy of our generous gaming partners, and we develop a substantial programming to work with veterans during their transition back home. Our programs include address mental health, homelessness, and employment for veterans and their families, accompanied by a global structure encouraging community service and commitment towards one another. UpperRangeSupply.org. Going to be here on Friday with the Minx. And then Saturday Night Savagery with Jay Reddy is going to be Gina Rogerio from the creative Drill Sergeants. Our nation is faced with increasing numbers of Iraq and OEF veterans. You know, OEF is not just Afghanistan. OEF is the Philippines, Africa. There's some other countries that shall not be named, but OEF is just not. This is terror, son. OEF trying to get them terrorists. Those are the guys that are in Operation Enduring Freedom. So it's not just tailored to just one event in Afghanistan. Veterans separating from military service with post-traumatic stress disorder, or TBI, and military sexual trauma, homelessness risks, and suicide rates amongst our national heroes will continue to rise without more effective coping mechanisms for use as trauma healing interventions. Trauma healing interventions begin with the 4 connected components of their mission statement, which is to prevent homelessness and suicides among veterans and can lead to successful reintegration into life. Next Tuesday, we're going to have Tony from the Service Women's Action Network, or SWAN. Tony is the director of communications at SWAN, where she leads SWAN's public affairs efforts. She was served in the U.S. Army from October 2001 to September 2008, working as a military journalist and public affairs NCO. She served in Iraq and was embedded with various units during day-to-day missions and combat operations. She's experienced in media relations as well and has provided media training for military officers and soldiers, escorted international journalists in combat zone, and provided media facilitation during high visibility military events. Don't forget our partners, the Veterans Report with Jim Cannon. We also have War Horses for Veterans. We're still playing with Project Overwatch, right? Paw Patrol?
Not so much. That whole thing they're having their own kind of internal thing going on. So
okay.
We've kind of moved. So we got Veterans Report and then our awesome friends at War Horses for Veterans. I love those folks.
Yeah, they're awesome. Okay, so War Horses for Veterans and the Veterans Report. If you guys don't know Jim Cannon at the Veterans Report, our terrestrial radio station partner. So in the event you're listening to him, you'll see him broadcasting also on the Saturday at 5 o'clock. You'll actually get a retrans from WTF Nation from his terrestrial radio station. Like, we grab signals from the airwaves, man, and we put it in the webs for you, and then there it is. That way you can listen on WTF Nation Radio, also shared on U.S. Army WTF Moments, War Horses for Veterans. Oh my God, equine therapy cannot be fun. We didn't have them come back. Give us a status update on their indoor arena, because they're building an arena right now, right?
They are. It's a complete. So they took the plan is to take their whole stable area, and they're going to have a whole covered arena, which is great because that means they'd be able to provide services all year round. In Virginia, there's a bunch of those that are like that. And they keep doing business, and that'll help War Horses provide more services year-round for the men and women that sorely deserve it and need it.
Definitely. I can't wait. Cannot wait. I think I'm going to go back out there again and check them out. We need to come back on. Maybe we can do a broadcast out there. Who knows? But cannot wait. So, hey, real quick, before I close the show up, just let you guys know that we have a show every night from 20 to 2300. That's 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for those of you that don't obla in the military. Every night except for Wednesday, which is our Downs or training holiday. We have the taco truck. Is the taco truck still out for maintenance? I think it's still out. Anyways, 12.
The tires are a little flat for the next little bit.
Okay, all right. So
yeah, we need more cilantro.
Yeah, we need ran out of cilantro, so they'll get back up in a minute. 12 to 1400 Tuesday, Thursdays, every night. Again, like today, you just listened to the Money Edition, and this I'm not you guys sound like we're repeating ourselves, but I'm being more detailed for our Twitter audience because they normally don't hear on an ongoing stream like this on Twitter. Periscope, yeah, but Periscope is actually Twitter Live, from what someone explained to me. So if you have a Twitter account, then you can listen to that. But anyways, so we're posted on. If you follow us on Twitter, you'll get the stream that you're listening to right now that we're broadcasting on Facebook Live, YouTube, and on Mixer. So, again, every night. Tuesdays is Tied Up Tuesday with Minx and Great Cloud. Wednesday, again, like I said, the Donza. And then Thursday, Sergeant's Time with myself, My Golf, the Masters of Gunning, the Masters Jumping, and Doc Madness from the main page. Friday is Friday Night Freedom with Minx and Pooks. And then we have Saturday Night Savagery with Jay Reddy and Pooks. And then Sunday is the Green Room with the Stoners. So I think that's pretty
Gotta have the Stoners.
Gotta have Stoners. So, guys, do not forget. I'm going to put it out there again. Tomorrow, I want a formation out there for Cadet Wang. So Cadet Peter Wang, his service is going to be at 11 to 1400 tomorrow at the Crare Funeral Home and Cremation Center at 1655 North University Drive in Coral Springs, Florida. Again, let's honor this kid. Be out there 30 minutes prior so that way anybody can have some semblance, take charge, and assist families as needed. If you are in active duty status or reserve status, we ask that you wear your uniform to show respect. Or if you're some recruiters out there that you want to show some respect in your duty uniform, if you can get in your Class A's, then yes, or Army service uniform, we would ask that you go ahead and do that. So again, for Peter Wang, Cadet Wang, we dedicate this show for you tonight, buddy. And again, it breaks my heart. I really would love to have seen you serving in our Army, but I know for a fact you are. And so with that, you guys got anything for me? Or are you guys good?
Right as rain. Don't forget, we're on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, Facebook, Mixer. And don't forget, you could always download these podcasts at WTFNationRadio.com. We're everywhere. Like us, share us, love us. Tell Zuckerberg to stop fucking with us. You're the best.
All right. Talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good night.
Shot.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation.
Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
Call me a vet like a soldier. Green Beret, 21 gun salute, don't want to see the day. In the constant war zone, in the home of the brave, where they hate the police until they saving the day. I got kids like you, a mortgage like you, so blue lives matter, and so does yours too. All this separation and divide, open your eyes. If you cut us all open, we the same inside. The only difference is I run to the gunfight. Your peace when it's chaos, when the people don't act right. But I'm under scrutiny for trying to protect me. You pull a pistol and I'm shooting for trying to contest me. I got a quick second to make a deadly decision. The media betrayed me like a kid for a living, like I'm cold with no heart, a brain with no thoughts, a body with no feeling, a life with no cause.
Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. I'm damned if I do, and damned if I don't. It's like every single time I say what's on my mind, they go for my throat, they spew evil words. If you are absurd, always grinding, grinning, and killing my soul with these verbs. Hold me down, like I can't gasp for air. I'm closed inside of a box, like I'm inside Fort Knox. Every time that I'm there, I don't know why they think that I'm different from you. All that's true is I'm a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.